And we'll have time keeper in the back that will kind of tell us when we're about out of time. And then if I have to, we'll play you some music or cut you off or whatever we got to do nicely to end that, because we do want to leave time for the 4 to 5 minutes afterwards for feedback from the judges. That's probably going to be of great value to the entrepreneurs. So with that said, I'll invite Vikram up to speak first.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
You're ready.
Hi, my name is Vikram Gurujani. I am the owner manager of vpsecuritysystems.com. I provide product and services in preventing vandalism and avoiding theft for the properties and at the cash register. So I design license plate capture cameras that captures the plate of a moving car at any light conditions, any speed up to 120 miles per hour. And I also design POS integration camera system. So anytime a clerk is in a cash register, it shows you a text overlay screen, and you can do a search based on item, tax, amount. It prevents the store owners to avoid any theft, stealing money, and have accuracy. And I also design handheld scanners, which are customized again depending on what the customer needs and requirements are. And these are the images of my products, just to make it more understandable.
Thank you.
So we started from capturing up to like from 25 feet. Now we can go up to like 200 feet of point of view for capturing the license plates. And these are mostly useful for business establishments like shopping center, apartment complexes, high-rise condominiums, underground parking lots, whoever has a controlled access system to their properties and driveways.
All right, Vikram, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, say something real quick, and if you have any kind of questions or feedback or further information.
Sure.
Who are you catering your sales to?
Mostly commercial properties, like property management companies and gas station owners, and underground parking lots, and high-rise condominiums.
And have you made any sales so far with this program, or just starting off?
No, I'm been doing this for last 12 years. So average I do a gross sales of 120,000 in a year, and the product is a high value product, so it takes a little bit more longer to get an approval and funding than the normal cameras you want to install.
What's the cost for a C-store operator, for example? If you wanted this in their C-store, what are the costs?
The POS capture system is like $1,200.
This our system?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can connect up to like 4 register on one system, or you can connect up to like as many as you want if you want to do a cloud-based service.
Okay. Have you tried marketing to C-store operators in Houston? Bunch of them.
We have sourced some of the gas stations. We started with gas stations.
Yeah.
Now the feature product, if you want to target restaurants and sports bar and any place where there's a cash transaction and registers, they have it.
Is there an ask? Do you have an amount that you're trying to get financed in order to meet?
I'm looking for a line of credit because I have my regular customers. They pay me on time. But since I'm doing business with them for a longer time, they say you start a project and sometimes it takes time to get a payment from them. So I want to use a line of credit just to revolve the cash flow, and so I can finish the project faster and take multiple projects at one time and start doing one at a time kind of scenario.
So how much of a line of credit do you foresee needing?
I'm looking to start with 15,000, and then as business grows and needs arises, then I can invest more.
What would the collateral be for us as a banker?
You will get your payments on time monthly with whatever interest I get on. That's what I can say as of right now.
Yeah.
But I'm also looking for investors who want to invest in my business, so I can do a profit sharing, or if they want to participate in project management and invest kind of a thing.
Vikram, I had a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, you have two target markets listed out.
Mhm.
The first one where you're capturing license plates and others, are you, is it on your plans to be part of, like a vendor list for the state, for the city? Is that something you pursued?
Yeah, so initially I started with apartment complexes.
Okay.
Now the plan is to move to the local, state, and federal government, and they have very specific requirements and needs. For that, I have to take permit or have to be certified from local government agencies. The long-term plan is to capture more clients and do more of government and federal contracts.
So have you ever done that before, or do
No,
you
I
have
haven't.
someone on your team that can do that, or?
I can create a team. Right now I'm a one-man show.
Okay.
Then I have subcontractors. When I get a project, they come and start working with me.
Mhm.
And since it's a time-consuming business, it takes time to get the project approved. So I really cannot afford to hire a full-time person at the moment. But since if I expand, so I've started markets I want to target around and do travel more of a thing to get more clients.
Yeah. And then smaller clients. And then smaller clients could be someone like the colleges and the schools that
Yes.
have parking garages, like
Parking
U of H.
Like UFH or Houston Community College or any college, they have anybody who has a controlled parking garage, like
Mhm.
with the arm or the paid parking. Those are my clients.
And with it, so have you generated revenue?
Yeah.
How much?
So I operate on between 30 to 40% gross profit on any projects I do.
So what was your total revenue last year?
Last year my gross sale was 110,000, so I made a gross profit of like 45,000.
Okay.
45, kind of that average.
Now you mentioned a line of credit,
Mhm.
but it says here in your business plan that your final payment from your clients
Mhm.
is from 7 to 30 days.
Mhm.
So are they pay at the end of the time, or are they on that 30?
So how it works, when the project is approved, I get 50% advance up front.
Okay.
That's what is the contract terms and conditions.
Okay.
Some people give me 33% advance, and as the work progresses, they give me rest of the amount. So when I go and ask them, hey, can I get the balance payment to finish the project? They say, we've been in business for you for a long time. You got your payment all the time. Just finish and give me the payment right away. So once the project is finished, I get payment like 7 days, not even like less than 7 days or 3 days kind of time.
So I think you're looking for revolving line of credit. That would probably be your collateral, be your accounts receivables.
Right.
Do you have an aging report?
No, I don't have that.
Okay. You should probably work on having one to tell you what a bank would look like.
Okay.
Look for it if we were to fund you on your lower line. And you said 50 or 15,000?
15.
1.5?
Yeah, 1.5. Between 15 to 20,000. I don't want to ask too much.
Yeah.
I don't income too much.
Find it sufficient though? It seems very small if you ask me.
Yeah, Frank has a good point.
Yes.
It's so many times people underestimate,
Mhm.
and then you run short.
Yes. So yeah. So since I said like I get a 50% advance payment, so if the project cost is say $10,000, for example, I get 5,000 advance payment up front. So if I wait for my client to give me the rest of the payment, it takes a longer time to finish the project. So finish the project, I need at least $3,000-4,000 more to finish the project until I get my full payment. So I can, if I have that line of credit, I can finish the project and move on to the second project, and when I get the payment, just keep paying back my line of credit and use that.
So typically we look at 3-year historical financials.
Uh-huh.
How have your sales been over the past 3 years?
It's in the range of between 90,000 to 120,000
Okay.
gross sales in a year.
You do net of 30 net income, 30% margin, you said mention?
I try to keep 30, but sometimes it's up 40%, sometimes 45%.
You
So
have good margins.
yeah, I have good margin. I have good margin.
All right, guys, let's continue this conversation afterwards. It's obviously good stuff, and
Thank you.
judges will
Thank
be
you.
around. Thank you, Vikram. All right, next up we have Charles with sales. Is that you? Yeah. Okay, excellent. I believe I have your presentation here.
Anything in the notes. Can I submit them all at once?
How's it going?
Good morning.
How's it going?
So is this on a timer, if you were going to tell?
No, it's not.
By clicking, it just goes to the next file.
Doesn't do anything. We'll just, don't worry about it.
All right.
Yeah, just move to the next one.
All right.
I guess I'll give you a hand signal. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Just so you know, by the way, just so we all understand the format, for anybody who wasn't here, we're going to do 2 minutes for pitching. Try to
Okay.
keep that strict, and then 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes for feedback afterwards. So right there in the back, Jessica will be giving signals, and I'll walk you out if I have to.
All right, good. All right, guys, ladies. Good afternoon, or actually, good morning, everyone. My name is Charles McFell, and I'm the CTO of Pre-K2 PhD. At Pre-K to PhD, we're known for placing students into the most prestigious K-12 schools in the nation. Thus far, we've achieved a 92% success rate in getting our students accepted into the top 2 schools of their choice. Looking at our business model, we see that our clients have the option of choosing between 10 and 40-hour service packages. These service packages consist of academic tutoring, test prep, and admissions consulting. Now, with that being said, we plan on creating our own online software to utilize artificial intelligence to push our, push our K-12 admissions process. Okay, this secondary revenue stream will add to the bottom line of an already profitable business. You can see from our revenues that these are our projected revenues for 2019 through 2021. If we add this secondary, I'm missing a slide. If we add this secondary revenue stream, by 2021, you'll start to see exponential growth. Actually, from 2020 to 2021, you'll start to see exponential growth. We're asking for $90,000 to assist us with this process. Investors should find a 2x return in 3 years.
This is give me my last slide. We're on for 2 minutes. So anything you want to say right now before we're wrapping up?
If you're an interested stakeholder, I urge you to meet with us today to see how Pre-K to PhD is changing the face of education.
All right.
So you're seeking $9,000. What would the investor equity be in the company?
So you can find a 2x return in 3 years.
So they won't own the company at all, just like,
No, I can.
okay.
Just so. Are you saying any impact or any questioning regarding what's going on right now with the admission scandal?
Yes. So we talked about that on social media, and we made a post about it. So in regards to that admissions scandal, you can see that your connections can get you to wherever you're going to, but they won't be able to maintain you. Eventually, the thread will kind of unwind, and you'll be able to see it.
So on that 90,000, how is that going to go into the company to support your vision growth?
Great, good question. So right now we're using an administrator's service called Tutor Cruncher. Tutor Cruncher doesn't really assist educational consultants. It's more geared toward tutors. In our market, it's a $1.8 billion marketplace, and nobody has over 1% of the market share. Now, with that being said, there is no software available for educational consultants that fits what we need. There's stuff for tutors, but not for educational consultants. Second thing, artificial intelligence in education. In every industry that I've seen that has utilized artificial intelligence to either make predictive analytics, for example, bankers, you guys utilize predictive analytics to look for fraud, okay, and to analyze numbers, analyze industries. In the educational consulting world, or actually in education in general, it's a cesspool of data, and nobody uses it.
So your revenue growth, will it be to create the software and then resell it to others? Or
Yes,
just to
that'll be it. So we will be the users and suppliers of everybody else in the industry.
And how much are you seeking in investment?
90,000. Yeah.
Are you also looking for financing as well, or just investment?
We'll talk later. That's a good question. Good question. But mind you this, the educational field is the last foray for anything technology related. So you can find my experience. I've spent 5 years in education, actually teaching, and so I can pinpoint all the pain points in the educational field. Okay, I've seen the whole gamut. Now on the other side, in the IT field, you can see the disconnect. There's a tremendous disconnect, and for somebody to put that together, there's tremendous potential. Tremendous. This technology is one of the last forays. Education is the last foray for technology. Case in point, iPhone. You'll use your iPhone for anything under the sun, but when it comes to the classroom, put them up, right?
So I'd like to add, so your credentials are there, your contractors' credentials are there. You know the value of credentials in this space, in the education market.
Absolutely, yes.
So what will you be doing to try to get your process certified through data? Like, or are you tracking data? What's your plan there before your facilities open up in 2020, is it?
Yeah, we track data religiously, okay? All educational institutions track data.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know how to execute and respond to it. Okay, you've got the data, you've got the information. Now, how do you make the progressive changes based on the data?
But then are you partnering with someone that is researching that data? For example, Rice University, right?
That's what I'm planning on. So I recently sent out an email. I would like to partner with U of H.
Okay.
I talked about it with the Sure Advisor 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
and I want to work through that process. Also, with that being included, we should, if we work with the university, we might be able to bypass a lot of expenses.
Yeah. I think it's going to be something that you probably want to secure as quick as possible as you're developing this, because, with that accreditation or a third party, you're likely to earn a lot more clients. Otherwise, you're one of
1 in a million, yeah.
trying to get in the space. But the barrier is having a third party saying that this is actually changing something. It's actually improving student education and outcome. So think on that, because I don't see that here. Who will you be working with? Who are your strategic partners to implement this, or to measure your impact on the students?
Okay, say that one more time, because
Sure. All right. So in your business plan, what I'm lacking, what I think you should add, the opportunity that I'm missing, is strategic partners that can help you, one, study the data, validate the data, and then two, if
I know. Okay, I got you. Data scientists, yes, yeah.
okay, all right.
I got you, Rob, loud and clear. I do need to include that in there, but yeah, I'm way ahead of you.
No, but it's awesome. Good.
So Charles, it said in your funding worksheet, it says 40,000 to expedite the website building. Is that going to be enough?
To expedite the building of the website? Yeah, with me, I'm an IT professional.
Okay.
I just need my team.
Okay. Because I wasn't familiar, so I'll
Yes.
All right, Charles, thank you.
Yeah, give me any business cards that you have. Would be great. Thanks.
Thank you, Doc.
Next up is Green.
So,
Thank you so much. That's today.
Hi. There you go.
This is just has our extra data and stuff for them to see if they can pass it.
Well, you get 2 copies. This one apparently has extra data, so I have one.
Okay. Charles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to have the extra data, so you have to
All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi, I'm Karina Anderson, CEO of Dream to Vision Education. And I'm an education entrepreneur, and I live to spark the love of learning in children. Dream to Vision Education partners with schools and youth organizations to provide academic enrichment programs, professional development, and advocacy services. There are 3,169,000 at-risk students in Texas alone, with Houston ISD having the largest district. The federal government allots $18 billion annually to support Title I schools of at-risk students. As an educator, the pivotal point in my career was when I became an elementary teacher at a Title I school where only 7% of the students were passing in reading and math. This troubled me, so I leveraged my position to not only teach, but provide professional development, academic enrichment after school, and teach parents how to advocate for their child. Before I left, academic achievement had increased from 7% to 80% over the course of 3 years. However, this is not an isolated situation. Across the U.S., 58% of students are failing to master reading and math. Our solution, Dream to Vision Education. The opportunity to impact education while changing lives and run a profitable business is tremendous. Our financial model projects $247,000 in year 1 with a net revenue of $72,000. Year 2 revenues project $487,000 with a net profit of $205,000. By year 5, we anticipate $1.1 million in revenue with $553,000 in net profit. We are seeking $60,000 in a combination of equity and debt investments with a payback of 24 months and 8 to 10%.
Great job, like getting all the numbers out there and giving me an idea of what you're doing.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
think my only question would be, do you have any existing sales right now? Like, where are you pre-fund?
So our attraction right now, I'm in negotiations right now with the YMCA of Greater Houston, Boys and Girls Club of Fort Bend, as well as Fort Bend ISD. So I serve on their Board Leadership Academy and also do a lot of volunteer work. And so I've been doing a lot of work with leadership to plan and kind of build attraction for this program. So I actually have proposals and contracts that I'm working on with them now.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Will you be a one-woman operator if the funding is needed?
So first year we're projecting I would be a full-time employee, and then I would need about 4 additional part-time employees to help me run the program.
And what would they do? Kind of to mentor kids?
Yes, so I've basically developed the curriculum. Part of the curriculum would be to put it on software, e-learning software, but they would use that curriculum to go to the different schools to implement my program. And so they are trained. I do classroom training and on-the-job training for them. I actually have a strategic partnership with Houston Baptist University, HCC, and I'm hoping to have a partnership with University of Houston to recruit student teachers, social workers, student teachers, and kind of work with them together to develop that program. They're working with some of the curriculum ideas, and basically it's a win-win situation for them. They get the educational credit for being able to come into the schools and work with the students, and then they also get paid as a stipend for teaching and mentoring.
So what's your sweet spot, in terms of education, middle, high, college? What's your sweet spot you want to first get into?
Financial, or what do you mean? Sweet spot?
Who do you want to market to? What kind of?
So to schools and youth organizations, particularly Title I schools, definitely are some of the schools that we market to. Additionally, charter schools are also schools that we market to as well. Is that what you're asking? talk to me about what it is that you're thinking.
Yeah, I'll read more about it. I'll talk to you about it. I
Okay.
won't hold your time up.
Oh, I have all the time in the world.
So I saw it in your business plan that in 2000, back in 2004, you did something similar.
Yes.
So can you tell me a little bit about how successful or challenging
Right.
you had?
So previously, I created a business during Diamond Divas. I went to after-school enrichment program. I taught STEP and character development. Worked with middle schools, 21st century learning centers. So they were at elementary schools and middle schools. I worked with 15 different schools within Indianapolis. Yeah, it was a successful program. I actually became a licensed teacher to kind of dig deeper to figure out what the impacts could be with that collaboration of during school and after school. But the program was very successful. Some of my clients were the YMCA of Indianapolis, the city of Indianapolis, Boys and Girls Clubs, and a couple of charter schools, so KIPP charter schools and Lighthouse charter schools within Indiana.
So you left that, is that still running and operating in different hands?
It's running in a different capacity, so now it's just strictly a dance team. So the capacity of the character development and all that good stuff is not necessarily the programming of this with the collaboration of the schools, but the students go to a dance program that's called Diamond Divas of Indiana. Yeah.
In terms of equity, how much would this 60,000 be for the company? How much are you looking for in traditional bank financing as well?
So in traditional bank financing, I'm looking to tap into no more than about $20,000 to $25,000 in loan. I have a strategy to do a Kickstarter campaign and raise money in other avenues. I'm going to do a few different pitch competitions. So I'm looking to kind of leverage as much cash equity as I possibly can.
So you don't know how much equity would be for a potential investor?
It just depends on how much money you're talking.
One thing I did like, I like how you had the opportunity, well, took advantage of the opportunity to relate the swag as a second source of income as well.
Yes, absolutely. Because one of our premium programs is our math and movement. So I train and I teach the art of stepping, but I put it to math, movement, and math vocabulary. And so one of the things that all of our teams would need are uniforms. And so that would be a consistent thing that we would possibly have, specialized uniforms. Yeah.
Very creative.
Yes.
I imagine most of your funds would be needed to hire other professionals to help you with the business, or?
Yes, so the bulk of our expenses does come from salaries and wages, but we also have a cost of goods, so students receive basically a workbook that kind of mimics the program curriculum so that they can have to work through. And then the expense of we're translating that curriculum, that paper curriculum, to an actual e-learning software. So the ability to have the access for that for a year annually, the bulk of the expenses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have Latanya in the room? Okay, you'll be next.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful cup.
Thank you.
Hi, this is from Miss Leffery.
I'll go with the Joe you choose.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I got one more thing. Oh.
I'm taking a 30-second pause to set up the following. We're going to set up the presentation right behind you. I have yours.
Okay, thank you.
About 30 seconds. No, yours is there. Ready? The one behind you.
Thank you so much.
Just,
This is my card, sir. Nice to you, sir.
Great presentation.
I've got the score sheets from the last three.
Oh,
Are they still collecting them?
yes, we are supposed to be collecting after each round.
Yeah, and I made the mistake of taking longer time.
Oh yeah, I always need to pick myself a minute.
I like the shoes.
Appreciate that, thank you.
This is my card.
Please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Maybe. We be sure that all of them are getting picked up after each round. He has the last three.
I caught up. Thank you.
Good job, Robbie. Way to slow us down.
Hey, we need that extra because I want to make sure we're thoughtful in our answers. We need time.
Okay, down here?
He has a few.
Right here? These are finished, sir?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. All three in order, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Tony, whenever you're ready,
Alright, we're ready.
just give me the signal when you want me to flip through, okay?
Okay. Here we go. Good day. I'm Ms. J, the owner and director of the JAR Project, and we teach consumers how to prepare for a legal consultation with a licensed attorney. I am a career paralegal with more than 20 years of professional experience in the industry. And in 2017, while assisting Harvey survivors with recovery from the effects of the hurricane, I noticed there was a potential problem. Many people that had legal problems were not prepared to address them. So what I did is I started assisting them by preparing them to meet with FEMA, insurance companies, and attorneys. One person suggested that a disabled person suggested that I register my services as a business with the state of Texas because he was satisfied with me assisting him to prepare to meet with an attorney on an issue involving his mother's estate. That person, and the disabled individual, recently called me a couple of weeks ago and thanked me because he received a $9,000 check from his mother's estate. So the JAR Project is a legal services administration group. We do not provide legal advice. What we do is we assist consumers with organizing their thoughts, gathering their documents, creating a brief summary of issues, and searching for resources, public resources online that fit their particular need. We also provide mobile notary service. So I have the classic mobile notary service card in your packet as well. And I'm also working on a new JAR Project card. So what the JAR stands for is the Judicial Awareness and Readiness Project. We are conveniently located in 3rd Ward and in the WeWorkspace building for $250 a month downtown. What we plan to do is we plan to contract with attorneys, bail bonds companies, legal groups, universities, churches, whoever, contract with them as a resource to help the person get prepared to meet the attorney. Now, what do we want? We are asking for, we really would like a $23,000 grant, but since you all are investors, $23,000 will cover my salary as a director of $2,000 a month, a salary for a part-time office manager who will take the calls and set up the appointments for $1,200 a month, and the WeWork workspace rent for $250 a month for the next 6 months. We're only asking for 6 months to cover the latter part of the 2019 fiscal year. If this money is granted by you, the investors, granted loan, whatever you want, if you want us to pay it back, we're going to pay it back on your terms. I would suggest that we set aside 50% of our revenues and into an account. I'm with Chase Bank, not the business, but I'm getting there, into an account. And then whenever you decide you want some of your money back, some, please not all, then we will issue checks monthly, quarterly, annually, whatever you would like. So the JAR Project's mission is to assist consumers, individuals, groups with becoming their best advocate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Silence good?
No, Ms. J.
Yes, sir.
So looking at some of your figures briefly, would this be a new venture, or do you already have some comparable sales you can tell us about?
I have some sales, but it's not as much as I'd like. I started off doing this, like I said, voluntarily.
Yeah.
And then the disabled person's wife gave me $50. She said, Miss J, you need to start a business. And that was my first $50.
Yeah.
And so that was the first time I had got in my mind that, hey, I could actually do this as a business. Because prior to that, another WorkSource employee saw me assisting consumers at the WorkSource computers with preparing their resumes and applying for jobs. I had lost my job, so I dedicated my time to other people. And so as I was assisting them, the other WorkSource employee said, hey, why don't you do this as a business? So I believe in confirmation. So the lady gave me $50, the Harvey survivor and the WorkSource person. So then I started trying to charge people, but my heart was in helping people. I did not learn until I came into the SURE class that I actually need to get paid for what I do. So since then, before the SURE class, I helped about 10 people. Since then, I've helped 15 people, and that's only been in the last couple of months. So I am learning now how to get paid for my skill set. I also am going to meet with NAACP, with the Houston Volunteer Lawyers Association, and I have some information about free wills if anybody needs that, and the Shape Center next week. So I'm hitting the ground running. I'm going to meet with these people and start trying to build relationships, contract with them so that they can refer their clients to me. I have had clients referred to me from the more recent group. So yeah, this is a new venture. Also, I'm not trying to take up everybody's time, but I'm excited about trademarking the logo. Trademarking the logo, and I designed that because I'm an Art Institute graduate. Trademarking the logo and patenting the business model and then franchising it after 2 years of successful business. That's the future plan. Because I can't do this forever. And then if it gets so big, you know, I need people that can pay me for just having the idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mrs. J, thanks for serving. I saw that on there.
Thank you
You're
very
a
much.
veteran,
I appreciate that.
I appreciate
Board and Navy. Never again volunteer your service.
So I wanted to add that there are opportunities for veteran-founded owned businesses. I think you should look into that. I think you need to start marketing yourself a little bit as the lawyer's aid services. There are a lot of lawyers in town that can use your help to go into the homes and help their clients prepare the packets, stuff you said you do. There are great opportunities there, and I'm sure veteran-owned businesses have a lot of access to startups funding. So, you know, I'm glad you found that your kindness is a potential commercializable business for you. That's how it should start. So you know, what you're offering is a great service. There's a lot of opportunities for veterans, and I think you just need to redefine it a little bit so that it's clear where you add the most value. Are you adding the value to the client or the attorneys?
Both.
Then clarify that for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you involved with any veteran-owned business organizations?
SCORE, well, not veteran owned, but yeah, I know a lot of vets in SCORE. My dad's a vet, I'm a vet, my sister's a vet. But I just really started marketing because, again, I didn't know I could make money off of this until I joined SURE.
Excellent.
I'm getting away, y'all. What my questions?
Thank you.
Here, if you like, I'm happy to connect you to the veterans office at the city.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
I don't have a
I'm sorry? 5 more minutes. Or 3 more minutes. I'll get it to you. Sorry, I just need that time.
All right, whenever you're ready, Loretta.
I was waiting.
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, go ahead. Good afternoon or good morning, Loretta Williams Cornell, CEO and President of Gap Management Group. As you can see, this has been a dream of collaboration between Super Lady Life Movement, Supergirl Shine Foundation, and Gap University. So why Gap Management Group? The options that we have here are Girl Scouts. Has anybody ever heard of Girl Scouts? Yeah, you have, right? Okay. Do you have any children that are actually in Girl Scouts?
Yeah.
Okay, so Girls Inc., Black Girls Code. All right, so one of the challenges that we have is that in the schools that we are partnering with, in education, in the environments that we're partnering, Girl Scouts is not available, Girls Inc. is not available, and Black Girls Code is available through collaborations, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. Services that we offer through Gap Management Group are strategic planning, education consulting, and business development. The question that we have today, where are the women leaders of color in energy, innovation, and STEM careers? That's the question that we have. What you know is that the statistics say that Anglo males have the highest degrees and they also have the highest paid salaries. Minority women are still far below the salary link, and so we know that 80% goes to Anglo women and 64 cents on the dollar goes to African American women, and the Latinos 54, and these are college educated women. So we go back to that question, where are the women leaders in STEM education and innovation? So don't wait for the opportunity to happen, make it happen on your own, and that's Madam C.J. Walker. Exposure plus access equals opportunity. That's what we're doing through Gap Management Group. So we will have this work. So we decided that there are, in Title I schools are schools that are underserved, underrepresented, and they have low socioeconomic. And so the way that this works is Lead Her Ship Shine Academy is the answer to be able to bring these girls up the pipeline, have them workforce ready for STEM careers and innovation, so that Shell, Chevron have great talent and they are prepared, and we do it early from elementary, middle to high school.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you. All right. That's good.
All right.
Any questions? Yes.
Are you in need of financing to expand your business?
Okay, thank you. I waited because I wanted you to ask that question out loud. And the reason why I did not say that before is because I'm not looking for actual loans. What I'm looking up for are CRA dollars. Why CRA dollars? Because sponsorships as well as grants allow this program to us to be able to give 10% back to Supergirl Shine Foundation, which is a 501c3. Why do we want to give 10%? Because 10% allows us to be able to have members in those programs for the Title I. And then what happens is, if you'll flip through, we leverage this because this gives you a model. How's it work? Keep going. Okay, keep going. Next slide. Here it is. Okay, so $100,000 CRA dollars funding. Next slide, please. Keep going. Next one. Okay, this is how it works. We work with Shell. We work with Shell, Chevron, Supply Diversity, Energy, Education Leads Consultants, and in higher ed. How does that help the girls? Well, that 10% gives them membership. And then the membership then allows them to be able to have access to Shell, to Chevron, to higher education institutions, STEM careers, workshops, and things of that nature. So the for-profit then gives that 10% to the nonprofit, and then those girls in Title I schools are the benefactors from it. If you go to the next slide. Great thing is the impact. Girls from Title I schools, they get hands-on robotics, they get hands-on workshops, biochemistry. This is a success story. Morgan Freeman is now a graduate student at Tulane University. She interned with Supergirl Shine Foundation for 5 months. She wasn't ready for medical school, so she went and got her biomedical degree in her master's program. Morgan now just texted me about 3 weeks ago and said, Miss Loretta, I had an opportunity to lead a workshop at Tulane University because of what she learned from the foundation. She's now graduating in May. She's applying to medical school, and she's coming here in the summer to do research for the foundation. It's full circle. That's how we win. This young lady right here, Shanora, she's just earned a Slumberjay internship for the summer for 3 weeks. It's a paid internship. How did that happen? We have a relationship with South Early College High School. They are Title I school. We put the workshops in. She goes through the program. She pitched for the contest. She got the internship. Her life will never be the same. She's from Sunnyside, the oldest of 4, and her mother is a single mother. So that's how we win. That's how the CRA dollars work, and that's how we give back to change lives forever. Can you give me another slide? Okay. And so the last thing that I really want to share is having this particular funding of this money allows us to put these cohorts into the schools starting fall 2019, 2020. 2 cohorts would allow us to be able to have the World Affairs Council. If you're not familiar with them, it's an international organization. Every single girl, I'm excited about this, who has a membership with Supergirl Shine Foundation will have a full membership with the World Affairs Council. Now, what does that do? It changes the color scheme of the World Account. It changes her life. It changes her family's life and that community. This is an international giant that now Sunnyside and South Park girls can now be able to be attached to. Can you clap on that?
Loretta, I just want to add, at the college where you are, I am responsible for bringing the MOU with the Black Girls Code up there into Houston.
Right.
So I totally get the market. I totally get the need for this. My challenge for you, you said you're going to bank on the CRE dollars. What about, are you charging the parent? Are you thinking about collecting revenue through these initiatives, or are you hitting up the foundations in the city?
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
To answer your question, yes. Executives like Waste Management Group, this is Shell right here, but Waste Management Group, we provide a STEM, Supergirls in STEM showcase every March. So what do? We put out asks for money. So what happens is Waste Management Group then sponsored that event. That 10% now goes to the foundation. The foundation dollars now become turned into memberships. Those memberships now become into opportunities for the girls to have internships. To answer your question, yes.
Okay.
The parents also pay an assessment for each girl that is in the program, and the schools pay an assessment, because if the schools are not buying into it, then it's basically we're giving them this and they're not an investor in the girl's life. So they pay an assessment, the sponsors pay an assessment, the parents pay an assessment, and the girl wins.
Cool.
Yes.
Loretta, so I understand what you do, how you do it. So I have 3 questions. Number 1, are you running a for-profit business, any foundation, and or a nonprofit?
Okay. The first question is, Gap Management Group is a for-profit, and then gives to a nonprofit.
Okay, and then secondly, help me understand the financial viability of this business. I'm not clear on how you generate revenue for the for-profit. I'm looking at your financials, but I'm not clear.
Okay, thank you. So to help clarify that is that I am Loretta Williams Grinnell, representing Gap Management Group, who goes and has a conversation with Chevron. Chevron VP's Supplier Diversity wants to be able to bridge the talent gap between girls of minority, to be able to have that talent to hire them in their energy. So what I do is I've written a program called Lead Her Ship. It's a Lead Her Ship Shine Club. It's a 10-week program that is placed into the schools. That particular program allows that girl to be able to develop her presentation skills, her written skills, her critical thinking, problem solving problems through STEM and innovation. Why does that matter? Because that money then allows the girls to have that full membership that goes back to the World Affairs Council. And 2 of those actually gives 30 girls full membership, which changes the trajectory of them being able to have internships for that summer, like a Slumberjay. And I would love to have your card so we can set up an appointment. You can contact me. I have one with your CRA leader. Thank you. Hey.
Next up we have Clifford.
Oh, he's we'll talk afterwards. You'll love it. I sure will. Thank you.
Sir, here's for the entrepreneur Clifford.
There's 2 of them. One for the last one, and then
That was my question.
Okay. Thank you for giving me the
Yeah, no worries. I didn't know you were here.
I think we are.
You're talking my language, talking candy. Like already.
So before we get started with Clifford, do we have Sandra and Carol in here as well? Sandra and Carol Blue. Okay, so then the next one is Carol and there. All right, Clifford, whenever you're ready, sir.
Good morning. My name is Cliff, and this little guy here is my buddy Fred. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry. See, Fred's a little shy like I am. This is my buddy Fred. About 6 years ago, as a dad, I needed a way to make some extra money for my daughter in college. I didn't want her to have to depend on anybody. At that time, I was managing a homeless facility, and just like most people, the concept of convenience, satisfying a craving, dependability wasn't there. I go to a vending machine and I get an old, stale candy bar. That wasn't right. Even though it was a homeless community, those people deserve the same respect as anybody else. I worked in the homeless community for 20 years. So I started a company called Happy Vending as an encouragement from a friend of mine, and I was able to achieve my goal of providing my daughter some extra money while she was in college to help her get the degree that she got. Now, but I fell in love with what I was doing. The vending machine company, the vending machine industry has grown and is growing. It provides a service of convenience. It provides a service of comfort. It provides a service of dependability. I provide a service of service. Quality service for individuals who have a desire just to meet a need. Like the candy bar during the day. Companies depend on vending machines and coin-operated machines for simply to help their employees make it through the day. Like I used to grab a quick coat. The vending machine industry is growing. According to Forbes, it's a $1.7 billion industry. And it's a lot more than just sodas and snacks. And that's what I provide right now, sodas and snacks. I want to take it further, and I plan on taking it further. The industry is coming from Europe, and they're selling everything. It started out as gumballs. If you go down I-10, you will see a car company that markets themselves as a vending machine company. From socks to t-shirts to pet products to makeup, you will find it. If it fits into a machine, I can sell it. My goal is to do a lot more than just provide that service. I want to start customizing machines themselves. That's where the market is going. Houston itself is beginning to catch up with the rest of the world as far as the coin-operated industry is concerned. Just had a convention in Vegas.
Sorry, I thought we were just taking care. We have 2 minutes for presentation, so I wanted to give the judges time to give you questions and feedback as well.
So I love your presentation. That was great. What's your ask? How much do you need in order
I am asking for $5,000 to get more, to kind of come up in the age with the age of what you're doing. This is a brain of a coin cashless devices. I just picked this up out of my mailbox and I'm putting them on my machines. It should increase my profit by 17 to 23% according to the manufacturer. I'm asking for $5,000 for simple product inventory and to build a inventory of parts for emergencies for the simple machines. If my coin validator goes out, I just fixed one this past week because the power surge hit it. If the brain goes out, I want to be able to fix it. These machines are a lot more complicated than gumball machines of 3 decades ago.
So how much machines do you have now? How many?
Right now, I have one location, which is at Citizens for Animal Protection, which I give back to that organization because of the service that they do out of the vending machine. okay? It's in there, I've got 4 machines out in one of their buildings and one in the other. So I've got 2 more machines sitting in my storage unit. I plan to get out within the next 2 months.
Cliff, do you buy the equipment, or are you leasing
I
them
purchased the
from the?
equipment myself. When I first got started, I go with the Whitter Group. I buy brand new products, brand new machines. The Whitter Group, they warranted their machines. They helped me find locations, and my goal is to get with them to become one of their repair technicians.
What's the average cost of a new machine?
The average cost for a new machine right now, I just bought it brand new and it was $5,000. When I first started, I bought 2 machines. It was for $7,000, and everything else I put it out of my own pocket to get my equipment, my supplies out of my own pocket to get this thing started.
And I wonder if if there's a loan on equipment that the banks, because you're not asking for enough. It looks like if you wanted to put in another 5 units, that's $25,000 of equipment alone, then supplies.
I would love to put in 5 more units. I have this working here with Shure has opened my mind. I'm not as I really love her presentation, very well put together. I don't explain myself in that manner, but I'm a kind of hands-on type of guy. The machines pay for themselves. I use that leverage, per se, by paying it off to get my credit score up, per se, with the company. The machines pay for themselves. I don't have to come up with money out of my pocket, but to get them all paid for at one time, that would be great.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes,
so
sir.
when you have a machine, are you renting space at a facility where you have your...
CAF is the only place I've ever paid to have a machine in. I started out, I took over the homeless community where I started.
Yeah.
I've had a machine in a hospital, I've had a machine downtown, and in a parking garage that got broken into.
Yeah.
And I've had a machine in hospital, downtown, parking garage. And I had one briefly in a oil changing building that they closed down.
Because I was wondering, because my bank, we have the best equipment financing in Houston. Possibly help you with that, but we'll need your personal cash flow to support our loan. I think 5,000 probably be way too small for you. Way too small for us to consider. Maybe want to get a bigger loan, like maybe 50,000.
Okay.
Can you cash flow that on your own personally to support our loan?
Can I provide 50,000?
No. So what I mean by cash flow is that you support making a payment every month.
Oh yeah.
What do you do right now for a living?
Right now, I work for the state of Texas at the workforce, Texas Workforce Commission.
Okay.
At Workforce Solutions. I'm an employment counselor.
Okay. So if we're to do a loan for you, we want you to support our loan amount with this business.
Okay.
But I think it's certainly viable because it has collateral for it's a service.
Mhm.
But we can look at that 12 for a minute.
Okay. I appreciate that very much. I really appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you.
Hey, Cliff.
so much. Yes, sir.
I have 2 questions. On the machines or the equipment or the collateral that you have, is there some sort of a maintenance agreement that you have?
The
If it
maintenance-
breaks down, if it needs to be repaired, who's responsible for doing the maintenance on the equipment?
I am ultimately responsible. The machines I have, some are still under warranty, okay? And there are technicians here in the city of Houston, but Whitten Group offers a free class where I can go and learn and go to the machines myself.
And then secondly, I'm looking at your expenses and you're only showing 2. So you're showing communications and rent.
Right now, that's been all the expenses I've got.
Cable, Wi-Fi, gas,
Oh, you know, my personal
Maintenance.
expenses.
business expenses.
Oh, my business expenses?
You're only showing 2.
Right now, all I have is my cell phone and I'm paying for the machine. Other than that, my other expenses are putting gas in my vehicle, driving around, buying products for the machines.
Okay.
I try to keep it as small as possible because I am still working.
I have one last question.
Yes, sir.
How are you finding your locations to put your machines?
So far, I've found it through the Richmond Group, and I've gotten phone calls to ask, could I put machines in that location? Unfortunately, I did not. Actually, I'm hoping if we individual get started with his own vending machine business, I gave an application, which was another element of in Haiti.
Maybe you should put something, maybe, retail centers, maybe
Yes.
some hotels,
This program, now I can say I am sure, because this program has put a lot of
Play on words.
as far as getting out and building the business.
Yeah.
confidence
think
you
we
need.
want, we want to scale quickly to make some actual margins. So I think try to get like 5, 10 stores, 10 machines at a time.
Yes.
Also, I think one is just too small.
My goal was to grow at least one. My goal was to grow one machine at a time, or one machine a year, but I'll get past that. I need to move on.
What's the cost per machine?
The machines cost average about $5,000. A good quality machine. That machine is a dependable machine. It's brand new. It's got the latest computerized brain in there. I can program the thing right now to bin 3 items within the item hours of 2 and 3 today.
That's great.
Yeah.
How soon before you break even on that?
I'll be honest with you, so I'm still learning through this organization how to calculate those concepts. With the gentleman back there, my consultant, he's really teaching me a lot on some different aspects about accounting I didn't understand. I started off with a passive income business. I said, forget this. I'm moving forward.
That's what Dr. Thomas. You'll see.
All right, but thank you, guys. All right, next up we have Sandra.
Thank you. It's like a fun game here.
And this is a reminder, I think our next entrepreneurs are in here, but I do want to remind everybody we're going to be keeping it strict on 2 minutes for the presentation, so a little longer than an elevator pitch really, and giving 5 to 6 minutes for everybody to get feedback from the judges. So with that said, Sandra, I'll turn it over to you.
Hello and good morning. My name is Sandra Njoku and I'm the owner and president of MMKL Services. We are Houston's single source solution for commercial and residential janitorial services and wholesale supplies. Our staff is trained to deliver high quality janitorial services to our customers in a variety of industries. We offer easy online booking via Facebook, our website, text message, phone call, or email. What differentiates us from our competitors is that we also have a Mommy's Helper program. This program is a mixture of cleaning and also childcare. So someone that's able to come into your home, help tidy up with, maybe kitchen, start dinner, but also care for your kids while you're out once the daycare is closed. Today we're asking for $10K in funding. This would help with the increased exposure to our target audience, marketing, and an office assistant. Thank you.
Nice.
So tell us a little bit about, have you been operating already? What are your revenues currently?
Sure. So currently we are operating, we have a pilot program with one family. The mom is a partner in a law firm and the dad is an accountant. And so we charge them about $2K a month. And we pay our worker about $12 an hour. So we make about $400 from that job. And then we have a couple reoccurring residential customers, and we're looking to break into government contracts, bidding on like office buildings or apartment complexes as well. So we haven't quite broken into the commercial aspect, but we're working on it.
What are your costs per visit?
So they vary depending on the size of the place and the apartment. So a 1-bedroom could start at about $150. And I've done a job because we offer 24-hour service. So I have one job. They're like, hey, can you come tomorrow at 8 a.m.? Sure, it'll be $450 because we have to, it's a demand and it's short notice, so we have to charge for that.
That's probably a deep clean. How about like a more vertical clean?
So a more general cleaning?
Yeah.
So yeah, most prices for a 1-bedroom will start off about $150.
Because for me, I got into the Airbnb space personally.
Okay.
One of my issues finding someone to clean it after each visit.
Sure.
But if you're charging $150, $100, I may have a customer come in for a day or two, so I'm not making any money from my Airbnb. So you were to customize it for potential.
Right, and that's how we do also with the Mommy's Helper program. We try to customize our packages for that customer's specific needs. You know, I don't want you to feel like, oh, I just got ripped off. Like, I paid all this money and they just came in here, swept, you know, maybe washed the sheets and in and out in 30 minutes when I'm out of $150. So that's one thing we do. Since we're small, we can kind of listen to the customer and say, what are your specific needs? How can we cater to you? We have one customer that has a 4-bedroom house, but she just wants us to come in and clean their master in the general area.
Yeah.
So we customize our package to fit her needs.
Okay, great. That help you differentiate.
Sure, and here's a card for you, just in case.
Sandra, it's a great presentation and a nice looking website.
Thank you.
On your statements, is
The
it
financials. Yeah, so
it's
I was
decreased.
gonna, it's off. I just have
Okay.
to, you know, 1 year in business, I kind of, I know with the Mommy Helper program, we've been servicing them for about 9 months and it comes to an end next month. And so that kind of shows the decrease in revenue for
Yeah.
next year because I don't have another family that's lined up for that. But so we made that money in 2018, 2019, but that assignment ends in May. And so that kind of kicked my numbers out of whack.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
But
so
the-
that
this is not a
definitely-
typo.
Right, so that's definitely, out of the downward, the projections, financial projections are a bit off because we do have a job for a Mommy's Helper. They're paying $19.20 a month and it ends next month. And so that kind of explains the discrepancy with the projections.
So
Okay.
I have just a thought
Alright.
that I'm going to share with you. In
Projections
the type
are
of business
taken,
that you're in, and I work with a number of people that are in a similar business.
Sure.
I want you to think about how many products or services outside of your traditional cleaning service do you offer?
Out of traditional cleaning service. So I think that's where the Mommy's Helper come in.
Okay.
As a mom of 3, I know that sometimes you have challenges finding
Okay.
childcare. Someone that comes in, most people want to separate those roles. Oh, I'm here for the kids, I'm here for the cleaning. So to be able to merge those two together, someone that can come in after the daycare is closed. And so if folks have a date night or an evening event, they know they'll have coverage.
So I'm going to suggest something to you to increase the revenue opportunities
Sure.
for your business. So I want you to consider having a good, better, best, and then maybe a premium or a super premium model.
Okay,
Okay, and if you're in the cleaning business, there are products that you use.
sure.
Okay, are you using someone else's products?
Well, since I wholesale products, yes.
Okay, so what I want you to do is another product you can offer to generate revenue would be the private label.
Okay,
A product, put your name on it,
sure.
buy it wholesale, sell it retail, particularly if your customers say, when you left my house, it smelled really good.
Okay,
You left my house really clean. What do you use?
okay,
Right? So what I would challenge you to do is to come up with a good, better, best product.
okay,
Good would be entry level, come on, try us on, kick the tires, you're going to love us, upsell once, upsell twice, and then maybe a premium product, just a thought, would be some sort of an annual subscription service. So what you're doing is you're getting predictable revenue,
okay,
okay? And you're giving a client an opportunity to subscribe to your service annually, maybe offer them a savings opportunity for cash today, present value of money, or for a little bit more money, give them an opportunity to subscribe monthly. So good, better, best, premium, super premium, increase your revenue opportunities, and I think that will have a positive impact on your P&L.
thank you so much for that feedback. And I'll give you a card. No, everyone gets a card, I'm kidding.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll swap with you.
Okay, I was reading about your program last night.
Oh, wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. All right, I believe we're gonna have Larry come on next, Larry Selby. Is he outside still? Grab him.
Oops, I'm sorry. I forgot to do the last one.
What's your name? Last name?
Selby? SELVEY.
And your business?
New World Foundation.
Excuse me.
All right, Larry, whenever you are ready, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me just start off by asking you a question. How many of you here today know of somebody that has dealt with or is dealing with mental health illness? Now, you don't have to answer the question right now. Just think about it. But the University of Texas Psychiatric Clinic for Harris County actually put those numbers at 400,000 for the Houston area. And within those numbers, we're talking 1 out of every 5 kids are affected. Now, what's more alarming than those numbers is the fact that some of those people aren't even getting the assistance that they need based upon discrimination or just the fact that they're in denial. I know that personally because my younger brother is mentally challenged, and I myself dealt with these types of issues growing up as a kid. Hi, my name is Larry Selvey, and I'm with the New World Foundation. We are here today asking for $15,000 in donations so that we can progress through our operating costs and also get our program up and running. Now, our foundation is here focused on raising mental health awareness by implementing programs within the community. Our first program is focused on young men ages 10 through 18 who are dealing with mental health illnesses. Now, our program is a 12-month program, and within that course, we're taking them on a life journey and focusing on lessons around the mind, soul, and the body. There will be a 2-hour course once a week, followed up with a mentor throughout that week with the child, just to make sure that they're grasping the information, and also just to see what type of issues that they're having throughout that week. Now, our plan to sustain operations of our foundation is to partner up with school districts, religious organizations, and also local businesses for sponsorships. We do believe that this will be a successful effort because I've already had some administrators from school districts who reach out to me and would like to set up meetings to discuss a path moving forward. With this plan and with your support, we believe that we can tackle the mental health issues within this country and be able to bring these young men and people into a new world.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Hang on, let's, we got a few minutes for questions. This is the most important part.
Okay.
Feedback.
Yes,
So I
sir.
have 2 thoughts and questions. Number
Okay.
1, I love the logo.
Thank you.
Number 2, on your financial, I appreciate the fact you have a line item in there for contingency,
Yes.
right? And so it's good to know that you thought about that. So my question is, financially, how are you going to support this business?
So the main thing for this business, and because my whole point is I want to help the people, and I understand that finances is a big part of that, and so to partner up with other organizations and also having fundraising events throughout the year, at least one each quarter, we look to raise enough money to actually sustain our organization.
Above and beyond the 10K crowdfunded number you have?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the number?
I don't have that number right now.
Great presentation,
Thank you.
great cause, and I really don't have any critiques. I just want to see you succeed.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
It's a great logo, man.
It took me about 21 days to get it.
Looking at that logo, I feel this big right now.
Thank you.
Larry,
Yes, sir.
do you have any plans to work with prisons or
Correct.
recreational?
Correct.
I think
So and it's not focused in this business plan.
Okay.
So the greater scheme is to deal with first the youth, young men, young women, and then to move to adults, and then which includes veterans, also people that are incarcerated, that are transitioning back into civilian life to help them with their transition. As I'm the co-founder. My brother actually transitioned from in prison, and so he has a plan that he wants to roll out together. So we're going to partner up on that. But our focus right now is on the youth.
What about developing something along the lines of the church ministry?
That's a thought as well. Actually, my father is a minister.
Okay.
And so I grew up in the church.
And you can monetize that logo. You can have fundraisers and sell t-shirts with that logo. You can sell baseball caps with that logo. You can monetize that logo.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be an additional source of revenue for the business.
Okay. That's a good thought.
There's a program called Upward Bound.
Upward Bound?
Yeah, Upward Bound.
Okay.
Throughout the city, which I think fits your target student base.
Okay.
High school students at risk of going to college, and that there may be an opportunity for you to service them and be able to get funding for your business through there.
Okay.
So check that out, Upward Bound.
Upward Bound.
If you need here, I'm happy to connect you with the directors in town.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Larry. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, following Larry will be Carol.
Thanks. Do you have a card?
I have 2 more minutes.
Sure. So do you have a card? Is this your card?
This is my card.
Yeah, I see you about education, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in college education.
Sure, absolutely.
Sorry, don't we talk about you?
Come on, you go.
Okay, this is for you.
Okay, here. It's okay. I got it.
You're going to tell me when the 2 minutes starts and.
Yeah, one second and we'll get ready to go.
I'm going to go over
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I also need a scoring sheet. I'm out.
Some more, yep.
Okay. All right, Carol, take it away.
Okay, hello everybody, I'm Carol Blue. I'm with the Dawn Project nonprofit organization. And in 2011, I was able to get $100,000 from the National Endowment for the Arts to start working in South Park, which is right down the street from you guys, across from Brays Bayou, all the way down to 610. And it's about 22,000 people who are there, and with a minimum income of about $35,000, it is considered an underserved community. And what we're doing with the Dawn Project is working with artists, because we think that creativity is a wonderful way to begin to solve some of the problems that we're having. And the artists work with community residents. And in 2014, we were able to work with the National Park Service to deal with the street infrastructure that's there and start building bike trails in the area. And we've been able to collect over $1 million from HUD and from Management District. And this year they're starting to actually rebuild those streets. And the way they were rebuilding them, it's going to be set up so it's part of the city plan for bike trails, that every park will be connected with each other. And so now we're having artists that are beginning to work with developing programming, public programming for these parks to make this all work together. So what we're doing now is looking for, we started out with $100K from National Endowment for the Arts. We built more, $150K we brought in, and so we ended up with $250,000 we were working with. And what we're doing now is asking for $175,000 more to help us to build on what we've done, and we're pretty sure that we're going to be able to bring in more money. to get these public programs going. I wanted to.
Yeah, thank you, Carol. Now we have handouts and time for feedback and discussion.
Thank you.
So what are you going to use for the 175? How are you going to put that capital to work?
Okay, then what we're going to do is we've started a training program for the residents. We have 14 residents and artists working together. And we have a training program where the process that we use to get the funds for the streets, we're going to use that same process with this group of 14 people. And we're going to train them how to do that themselves, so that when we leave, we'll have a group of people who can replicate what we learned from doing the street plan, and being able then for them to go forward. So we're having we've already done a class, and we got funding for the class around the plans that are happening right now in the city of Houston. And we're also going to be having a training on, I can't believe I'm nervous. We're going to have training on proposal writing. We're going to be doing tours of the area, and we're working with some investors to go on these tours with us, bus tours. And we're doing a survey with the Texas Southern University. And then we're doing the survey with the same people that did this one for the street plan, if you want to take a look at that. And then we're going to be doing planning ourselves on what we're going to have and do the proposals for the plans, that the public programming plans that we come up with. Does that answer your question, or did you have more?
That's great.
Did you have pictures or anything of the area that you're developing?
Well,
or you're showing?
I think I gave you a map showing what the area looked like, and that is right here. You can pass these out.
Okay.
And then I have these that give you a sense of what the area looks like, and this is the city plan that has our process in it.
Okay.
And we also have papers that give you, yeah, you have this paper right here.
Okay.
This gives you pictures and a description of the area. Does that answer your question?
It does, ma'am. And I was just going to point out the obvious here is that the plan's not complete.
No,
Okay.
we're still working on it.
But great work.
Thank you.
Goes to show you don't need a plan to act.
2 questions. Carol, what did you do prior to the Dawn project, and who was your local city council rep?
The local city council rep, now why can't I remember that wonderful man's name right now? District 19.
District 19.
And the other person.
What did you do before the Dawn project?
What did I do personally? I have 30 years of working in several different universities. I'm a documentary filmmaker by trade. And what happened is that we began to do digital storytelling as a way of beginning to have people tell their stories. And from there, we began to branch out and begin to use public history. We work with architects. We're working with landscape architects to figure out, and urban planners and artists, to figure out how can you begin to change and make communities work better.
Can I ask you one last question?
Yes, sir.
Share with me your big picture view for the Dawn project.
Well, you're looking here at a map of Brays Bayou.
Okay.
And Brays Bayou happens to be, it has, the watershed has something like 750,000 people in it. And it is the one area that has every race, every class, every ethnic group in Houston, from West University all the way to East Los Angeles. And one of our biggest dreams is, how do you turn this area into a United Nations lateral park? Because you have parks along the way, and you can begin to make it a place where the city, the face of the city of Houston can actually come together and enjoy the green space that's in that area.
I think the city councilman's name is Dwight Bolkins.
Dwight Borkins, thank you, God,
You're welcome.
for that. He will kill me. But it's me being nervous right now.
Great. I love what you're doing for the community. But you need to make this pitch at your local chambers of commerce.
Thank you.
So that way you can generate revenues and think of other sources of revenues, because a lot of people share your vision that want to have these parks working together. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Carol, thank you. So Johnny May is our next one.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm pitching today, yes.
Okay.
This is the last one. Well, this is the last one before break, right?
I don't have any idea, to be honest.
No, I already gave you mine.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Can I get yours?
Wait,
All right, Johnny, whenever you are ready, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Johnny Mays. I am the founder and the remote pilot, certified remote pilot for the FFA. I am the founder of Houston Drone Squad. We're an aerial photography and videography company. We are primarily servicing residential and commercial, the real estate industry of Houston and the surrounding communities. Our objective is really to enhance marketing plans already in place to give more visibility to properties, and also to kind of help our customers close the deals. Use the next slide for me. So we have 3 packages here. There's a photo package, a video package, and also a combination package for the core of our business right here. And the next slide, sir. We are primarily targeting real estate companies, banks, brokers, insurance companies, and even professional photographers with anything from roof inspections to documenting hurricane and fire damage, and even property appraisals. So in Houston, we are even taking targeting a step further because the FAA has a very big resource and a rule on authorization. And so we're targeting areas outside of the Houston hobby area because it takes a lot of time to get authorization within the hobby airspace. As you can see, our sales projections here, they're based on 1 sale per service, which should give us, that's our minimum sales projection for 12 sales for a service quarter, which roughly is about 48 sales a year annually, and we're looking to make about 30 grand after we do our expenses. We come out to about $9,600. It's about a $6,200 startup, which we look to make that startup money back within the end of the second quarter. So you can also reach us at HoustonDroneSquad.com. We own the domain name. We are still getting the website built out. We're on all of these social media sites as well. And the email address is HoustonDroneSquad@gmail.com. You can also call us or text us at 832-303-1557. That is all of my presentation.
Good job. Great job. Like, you got I know exactly what you do, I know exactly what you need, I know exactly what it's going to go for. Like, spot on.
Thank you.
So the only question I have, so this is I would call it a pre-revenue. You haven't actually been offering the services. You have historical.
So I'm actually flying as an individual drone pilot, but not flying for the organization, so much to speak. More so, I'm trying to gain customers. Like, I've had this presentation in front of a couple of realtors already, where I was trying to go ahead and get some clientele, trying to see what they need. The biggest problem that I'm having right now is really the authorization, because a lot of people, it's educating my customers, because they don't understand that you can't call me today and expect me to be able to fly for you today in most situations. Also with realtors, it's they want the blue sky, they want the sunny day, the yard needs to be, you know, taken care of and everything like that. So you just can't get it. So you have to educate them on what they need, and then kind of get them to get that contract going with them, and then we can take it to the next step.
Yeah, that's what I was going to follow up with that question. What's your turnaround time to complete a project?
So again, can you go back a couple slides for me to the one with the maps? This one. So like here, right now we're at the University of Houston. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but this is Class B airspace, and hobby, it's going to take about 90 days just to get that authorization. With the Bush Intercontinental area up here, you can get that authorization. I can get on my phone the same day. So it really just depends on where I'm at and then what the client needs. Because if you need me to fly today and it's a beautiful day, then I can probably be out there later today, unless I had some pre-existing things going on. But if you need me to fly in hobby, like here at the U of H, up to 200 feet is the limit, and you still have to get the authorization from there. They haven't gotten the technology caught up with this area of Houston yet, but everywhere else in Houston, if you have the certification, you can go ahead and fly.
So what's your competition like?
So if you were to Google aerial photography in Houston, it will probably come up, the first thing that's going to come up is going to be a regular photographer. And what they're doing is they're outsourcing to someone like me. So with competition, there aren't that many real estate only aerial photographers. There's only 900 certified drone pilots in the state, in Harris County. And so the competition is kind of sketchy, because most of the time I'm competing against other certified drone pilots like myself that are freelancing, or it's a photographer that's paid for the marketing to get that Google CEO, SEO, and so, you know, you think you're getting a photographer, you go to their webpage and they're taking pictures of babies most of the time, and then they hire someone like me to come do that aerial photography for you. Yeah.
I think maybe the better question would be, certified drone pilots, how many are there in the Houston area?
In Harris County, there's approximately 900.
Okay.
Approximately 900. It's growing now. But yeah, as of, I think it was 2017, it's in the packet, but as of 2017, 2018, 900. The fourth largest county in the nation.
And also, what would you use the $6,200 for?
The $6,200 is actually going to be used. The $6,200. That's the startup cost. That's how much it cost me to start up. I've already paid about 3/4 of that's already covered. So that was just to get the drone equipment, to get the licensing, to pay for the insurance, because I have an insurance policy, and just some additional equipment and things of that nature. Paying for my certification and that kind of stuff was useful.
Go ahead.
No, good.
Okay. Well, one last question. So what are your financing needs then to expand your business?
Actually, I'm going to be looking for, when we launch, because we're not going to launch right away, I'm going to kind of continue to work as an individual and kind of build capital for myself. When we launch, I'll be looking for maybe $5,000 to $10,000 in a line of credit to just kind of help, pay for travel expenses or in the need that I will go after some of the larger contracts. I have to rent some equipment, some of the bigger drones. I might actually need to have some credit for that.
So, Johnny, first of all, I like the business.
Thank you.
I really like the business.
Thank you.
So, first of all, there's two people I want you to connect with on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I can give you their names offline.
Okay.
Okay. Secondly, I think your pricing is low.
I hear that.
Number one. Number two, I think your revenue forecast is also very low.
Right. Again, it was based on the minimum sale that I could get, because it's just at this time it's just myself.
But so, if I wanted to invest in your company, I would want to know what is the size and scope of the business opportunity, macro, and then what is your expectation in terms of market share capture, right? And what I'd like to know is who are your clients? So I know a lot of realtors. Some focus on high end, some focus on low end, some are real estate investors. I think you should probably define that. Who is your customer? If you had a magic wand and said, this is who my ideal customer looks like, I'd like for you to be able to tell me who and what that is. But I think you've got something here that you can make a lot of money with. do you bill your clients, or are you going to invoice them, or you pay them front?
I'm trying to invoice in most situations, but
Your terms are going to be net 30? Net 30? Okay. But I think that you have an opportunity to make a lot of money.
thank you.
Johnny?
This is interesting.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So for our judges that were shift one, that is the end of your shift. We're gonna take a 10-minute break real quick in between, switching out to shift two for the judges, and we'll resume pitches in 10 minutes.
Just want to say,
It's 30 seconds before we start.
Yeah, like right now?
Yeah, I think there's some forms here.
Okay, you want to? Sure.
Someone need these?
Yeah, we don't have it yet.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'll let you go first, and then I'll make a little announcement. We'll talk about it.
Do you know how many we're having?
We have 12 in each, so we have 12 lined up for this session.
Yeah, Jay. Yeah, Jay.
How many did we give
We're
you?
in different rows. Yeah, I know. But maybe I should move. So we're all in line. I think, why are they asked to sit in the back there?
No, they're not taking it anywhere.
Okay.
They will be sitting there.
It was fun. I guess.
So we have 12 in this session, so they have 9 between 2 and 24. Let's get another 15 more for them. Each of them will need 12. Yeah.
12 ideas?
12.
12 pitches?
That's it. I like the way you think. 12 ideas.
Yeah.
The extras on that table back there. Is there anybody who can run us some copies? Because I think we're going to run out of these. How many more rounds?
Yes.
Do we need?
So
to ask somebody to run us
we need
some
12
copies.
each, and we have, how many people are judging? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
You guys have
judges.
12? You have 12 of these forms? Or any of these forms?
Probably not 12. So if everybody has a few, then they can get us started, and we'll just run a bunch of copies.
Nice. Yeah, I need 3 more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I need 3 more to make it 12.
Do you have another one to run copies on?
I got a few more.
Yes, but I don't have to go around the copies.
Okay.
Okay, he has 3. So these are all the extras for you.
Great, yes.
Okay. I'm at 12.
Okay.
Let's hope I don't make a typo.
That's true. This is
That's this one. So there's not enough judges.
Yeah, we probably just make sure we have some reserves. All right, I guess we're ready to get started with the second half here. I'll cede the floor real quick to one of our judges who wanted to make an announcement to everybody here, kind of give set some expectations from your guys' standpoint.
Yeah, so I've been here for the previous one. You guys have very few minutes to pitch your like 2 minutes. At a minimum, please just tell us what the product or service is and what your source of revenue is and what are you looking for? Are you looking for financial help or other things? And if it is money, how do we get our money back? I mean, at a minimum, I mean, you may have many other things to share, but at least we need to know what those items are from my point of view.
Okay, yeah, very good point. Those are if nothing else, we just have 2 minutes to get those key points out. And actually, that's kind of touching on what I was going to say as well, just making sure that everybody here understands. We're going to be strict on the 2 minutes for pitching because we want to be able to have 5 to 6 minutes of feedback. That's usually the most important time. And the best stuff, from my experience, comes out of that feedback time. So 2 minutes, Jess will be in the back and she'll give you kind of like a 10-second warning or something like that. Give you this whenever it's time to wrap up. If you keep going, then I'll have to give you the polite applause to cut you off, okay? So with that, I'll invite Ples up to start us off.
Good morning. My name is Ples. I am co-owner of Diamond Designs. We help remove the frustration from planning a party or celebration for businesses, families, and friends to provide a cost-effective, memorable moment. Our target market is middle-class families. Our target market is middle-class families from whose incomes are 50K to 100K. Our target market, our top sellers, products, and services are shirts, balloon arches, custom chips, photo frames, and event planning service. So the average party costs $5,000 to $3,000. That's if they already have a theme. The price we charge them will be $1,000 to $1,500. And I am looking for a loan today for $20,000 to help grow our business. We plan to purchase bulk inventory to cut costs, to get a computer, printer, heat presser, and for marketing and advertising. We will have the funds to pay it back by cutting costs, increasing our booking, and increasing our margins. Now, we are a startup company. We've been in for 9 months. Our 2018 quarter numbers, 3 and 4 are 3K. Our revenue was 3K. Our profit was 850. This year, our first quarter in 2019, we did 10,000 in revenue, and our profit was 3,000. And my profit margin is 38% as of right now. And you can find me at Diamond Designs, DYMONZDESIGNZ at yahoo.com. That's my email. I'm on all social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram.
And that's the time for questions from the judge.
Just
gross, when you say 38% profit margin, is that gross or net? Is that after all expenses, or?
That's 10, we should say that question.
Is it after all expenses?
Well, for Q1, 10,000.
You said your profit margin was 38%.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So is that after all expenses?
Yes, after all expenses.
So that's a pretty solid profit margin.
Okay.
So how are you marketing your business?
Right now we're marketing through Facebook, a lot of referrals. So say somebody we do business and conduct it well, they refer other people. And also, like I said, Facebook, Instagram, and just word of mouth, going around passing out flyers or passing out my business cards. So mostly word of mouth right now.
And how many, do you have a partner in this? Or?
Yes, my partner, she's like more of the creator. And she also is my girlfriend, and we have 3 kids ourselves. So like we kind of have a vested interest in throwing parties and events for families or business. Or
go through it yourself. Okay, thank you.
I was going to ask about the. So this is a seasonal business, or I'm just.
Seasonal, yes, it is for parties,
Mm-hmm.
but we also do other things as well. So seasonal parties will be maybe January from. Well, our first 3 quarters, basically. So the last quarter, it kind of slowed down because you do have the holidays, but we do pick up, not even just as parties, but just as doing like business for business owners. They throw holiday corporations or parties, and we could come in and do those, and that could pick us up. So it's kind of seasonal, but it's kind of seasonal.
So that's what I was wondering, because isn't it your services needed more during the holiday seasons, like your forecast? Is that actual data, or it says forecast?
Yes.
So, I mean, isn't it when you're working, your business is more in demand during the last quarter?
Yes, but no. Only because, like I said, we do parties and other things. So like when we're doing parties and we got graduations next month. So it's kind of like a slow, because you have Christmas and you have Thanksgiving, you have the holidays. Now, like how you say, it will pick up once we tap in a market of business as a business aspect and get and expand from there.
Okay.
So it could go up from
So I was just going to suggest that because there is some seasonal, it's seasonal in its nature, you may want to consider like a line of credit or other type of, instead of just asking for upfront money and using all your money in marketing upfront. And if it's not the right time when your customers need you the most, you miss out, the opportunity. So maybe consider being open to equity or line of credits and other options.
So as you know, there's a lot of competition in this field, right?
Yes.
So what makes you different from the others?
Well, what makes us different, our competition like to go through like other vendors, where us is all like a one-stop shop. Like we do everything ourselves. Like say, quick thing. So say balloon arches. A lot of people use different balloon. They go through a vendor for a balloon arch, whereas we do balloon arches ourselves. A lot of people go through custom chip bags. They go through a vendor for that. Like we do everything ourselves. A lot of people use a lot of different vendors where that might raises their costs. So we do it all in-house, so it kind of lower our costs.
So the last question I have is, as you stated, the revenue was really low, even with the prediction.
Okay.
Someone who invests $20,000, it will take a lot of time to get that back money, unless some miracle happens. So we may consider what the gentleman was just saying in terms of line of credit, something so that you can organically grow slowly on your own without giving equity on your business.
Right.
Great products.
Thank you. Like photo frames, chip bags.
Mhm.
That's for parties. That's very big now. Like I said, like people go through vendors. People only specialize in the custom chip bags or the custom balloon arches, but we do our own products ourselves. So, like I said, it cut costs.
And how do you get paid? At the event, beforehand, how do you?
Kind of at the event we have a service fee, because you know it is like a high labor intensive job where you come in and you like this room, we come in and did all this room and everybody came in like, oh, but they didn't see the work behind it. So like set up, breakdown, moving equipment and all that. So we kind of get paid like through the event, like through our service fee. So we put our service fee, our budget on there, and then we do like a decor budget where they how much they want to spend. Then that's what we go
Do they typically put money up front, or do they pay?
Yes, they definitely pay the service fee up front.
Okay. And then at the end of the night, you walk away with.
Yeah, before. So our service fee is our agreement that we make. So you're locked in, and you can't say, well, I don't want to do the party anymore. We already got the service fee, so you can't just say that. So we keep that. That's non-refundable if you do want to leave and not do the party. And then we try to do it the week before or the week of. We get paid our last payment. We don't wait till after the party. So like the week before or like the week of the party, that's when we get paid.
Do you do any upsell during the event?
Huh?
Do you do any upsells during the event? Do you do any like t-shirt sales? Whatever?
Yes, we do t-shirts as well. So
during the event, or you sell?
No, we do it before. So like if they have a party, a Disney party, and they want us to come to the party, we come in and when we do the party, we give them their t-shirts and we do everything before. That answer your question?
Yeah, I think this question was more, if at the party, is there any way else you can generate more sales, like a photo booth or?
That's fine.
No.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
All right, we have civil next. Now, so we're going to be going with no presentation, is that right?
No presentation.
All right.
Nothing but me.
Just live.
Yes, yes.
That's all you need. All right, so just a reminder, 2 minutes, and then we'll have 5 minutes for feedback afterwards, okay?
All right, thank you.
Whenever you're ready.
My name is Sybil Seville, owner of Sebillionaires and the Next Level Peer Group, which offers professional speaking, mentorship, and peer support services to those impacted by the criminal justice system. I myself am formerly incarcerated. Upon release, I struggled with finding housing, a job, and my emotional and mental well-being were not good. I eventually found myself at a facility mentoring clients with similar issues. As someone who has mentored all my life, this was a natural fit. I'm now planning a facility to help overcome the barriers of criminal justice involvement by offering various life skills along with temporary housing. I'm in the early stages of planning this facility. I'll give you my path going forward and seek feedback if I'm taking the appropriate steps to help me prepare myself to eventually pitch for funding. I'll begin by putting together a diverse advisory team and finding a business partner or someone to run the operations while I focus on clients and advocacy. I'll develop the program with professional consultation. I'll utilize contacts to potentially provide services at little to no cost. I'll develop facility specifications and get bids from multiple general contractors. I'll research the various grants. I'll begin to offer services at a temporary location to build a history and show the need. These are the steps I'll take to prepare me to eventually pitch for funding. I look forward to your feedback. Thank you. Yes.
I was actually really impressed with your background. I love the fact that you attached letters of recommendation. I realize you're at the very beginning of this process, but I was wondering, how would you measure your success in this type of organization? Because it seems to me like it would be a nonprofit, obviously. You're going to be giving grants. Is there anyone doing anything like this right now outside of Senacor and the other organization that you mentioned? And generally speaking, with nonprofits, you're managing your use of funds. So do you have any anticipation of how much funds you actually need to raise, and what your annual costs are going to be, and how would you manage and measure your own performance?
Okay, that is a multiple part question. Let me start with part one. You said, is there another organization doing what I'm doing, correct?
Correct.
So, here in Houston, Texas, no. In Los Angeles, yes. There's a organization called Homeboy Industries, and what they do is bring in apprenticeships. They teach them the same skills. They work there. They have housing, and they take formerly incarcerated gang members, and they give them the skills that they need. But that's in Los Angeles. Nothing like that is here. And I'm also providing the temporary housing, so I don't think they do that. And I'll also be servicing veterans, I might add. And there is a large group or a large database for grants for veterans and these types of programs. I attended a grant workshop yesterday that I met a lot of people who are willing to help me with it, with all the grants. How to measure my success, I'll have these people working with me. And I'll know, because that's what they do.
How long has the organization in LA been around?
I want to say, I'm not sure, like maybe 6 years. Okay. 6 years. Yes.
So are they willing to kind of mentor you a little bit as well?
I'm going up there in August for a tour of their facility. Yes. My cohort here, who's videoing me right now, introduced me to them. So that's how we got connected.
Wonderful.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
You do have people that are going to be helping you with some of your grant writing already?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Yes, ma'am.
Where do you plan on sourcing employees?
What does that mean exactly? Where do I plan on sourcing?
How do you plan on finding the staff to assist you in this?
Through my contacts. I have built, because I'm trauma informed and I work in peer recovery services, I'm a peer support specialist, as you see in my business plan. The people that I talk to on a daily basis and through the sustainable relationships that I have built, I'm going to use those people. As a member of Texas Advocates for Justice and many other organizations, I've already proposed this idea to them and they're on board. They're like, I'll do whatever I can to help. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use my peer network, because if I am helping people like me, I need people like me teaching these classes. Because if you have not walked in my shoes, then you won't understand. You can have empathy, but I need you to genuinely relate with compassion and sympathy. Not just what you learned out of a book. I want you to feel it from your heart. People that have been directly impacted can better assist another person who has been directly impacted.
Do you think you absolutely need to provide the housing assistance?
Absolutely. I today, 24 years after being out, I still face barriers from having a felony. You can't get housing. There is no, and it's not because the housing authority discriminates against it. It is the insurance companies that hold the contracts with the housing authority. They don't want to be liable for people like us. But people like us are assets and not liability. 1 in 3 adults have a criminal record. That is 70 million people. So to me, that sounds like 1 in 3 adults need a place to live. Why? And so I could go further and better. I see a smile on that gentleman's face right there.
This one?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm impressed with your enthusiasm and ability to communicate what you want to do. So good to you.
Thank you, sir. Your name,
It's
Mr. Reed?
more than 7 minutes for sure. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
We have Lauren Wiggins next.
First and second. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Okay. Oh, goodness. Come on.
Yeah, sorry.
You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm gonna plug you in on the other side. Oh, this
That
one.
wasn't-
This is a one. Oh, so you actually thought about that. Good
Yeah.
job. I'm gonna plug it back in.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you, sir, for your time. Thank you, thank you.
I was trying to point you to go this way. Got you a bottle of water? Here, can I have some pencil back? Here. You guys, everybody's got water. You guys need anything? Y'all are okay?
Thank you.
Who's the ratings?
You want me to hand it in?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll hand it to her. She's right there.
There she is. Okay, thank you, thank
I'll
you.
help her. Here you go. I collected them already. Oh, you got them. All right.
Okay.
All right, Lauren, whenever you are ready.
$19 billion was spent on special education programs last year. An additional $11.5 billion was federally funded. When a special needs student graduates from high school, they live mostly in a life of solitude because there are only a handful of programs that are available to them. Most of these programs are only for a few hours a day, or they're set in an inclusive environment with other special needs kids. How can a special needs student learn how to be typical if they are not around other typical peers? So the question is, what if a parent had access to a program that had a certified special needs expert and typical peers every single weekend? Hi, my name is Lauren Wiggins, and I'm the CEO of the Block of Greater Houston. At $95 a day, we pick up our students at a Sam's or Costco parking lot, and we go out into the community and we go on adventures like boating, kayaking, sailing, festivals, and concerts. But while we are having fun, we're giving them the social skills that they are deficit in. And approximately 6 to 8 hours later, we return them back to that same location to their families. We are seeking a $60,000 investment for marketing and operations, and investors can expect a 2 times return in 3 years.
So why have your special needs student live a life of solitude when they could live their best life hanging out on the block?
Nice.
Lauren, what would the $60,000 be spent on?
So we pick up our members in a Mercedes Sprinter. So that will go towards purchasing that, and then continue our marketing. We're going to market at special needs vendor fairs, and we're going to distribute all of our flyers to every HISD school with the special education department. And so that money will go towards that as well.
And is there a certain age group or any age group?
It's 13 and up, and we do service, we do have a bus that we rent right now that has access to a lift for people with wheelchairs. Currently only one, but with the investment, I would like to purchase a bigger one that has at least 2.
And one last question, I'll let someone else speak. So your employees, your people that are going out on these events with the special needs people, what is their training and background?
So their background is either they are certified autism specialists, or they have a background in behavior or psychology, or they just have a family member with years of experience of raising or having a sibling with special needs as well.
Very good, thank
you. You're welcome.
So have this been started yet, or you're just planning on do you have a proof of concept on it? Or?
So we did a soft launch during spring break, and I paid for everything, and we went out every day of spring break from 9 to 3, and we went to Discovery Green, we went to Escape the Room, we went to various things like that, and I do have a sign-in list from the different vendor fairs that I've attended throughout the 2019 with approximately 200 people are on that list. And so we haven't officially started, but we did do the soft launch. Yes.
What is the ratio of caretakers and students?
So
on a trip.
So the ratio for a member to a staff is 1 to 6. And if during our enrollment process, if the parent tells us that that individual is like a runner or has more special needs than what we can carry, we have a 1-to-1, and they just pay an extra fee for that as well. We have a 1-to-1 ratio for that one as well.
Do you have an idea of the size of the market, like the number of special needs kids within the Houston area? Do you maybe from any Houston office or whatever? Do you have an idea?
In HISD alone, there are 30,000 special needs individuals that graduate every year. And that's just HISD. So I'm not including the private schools that are in the HISD area as well. And then also Fort Bend and whatnot. But at least just for HISD, it's 30,000 that graduate every single year. And then when I say graduate, most of them do not graduate at 18. You could stay in the school system until you're 23, 24 years old.
Okay. So that means that when you had your financial projections, you took into consideration the amount of potential cash flow from those special needs kids, and how much is going to cover for the expense and all that.
Yes, and so I know that going through the numbers, I'm not going to have, or everyone is not going to take advantage of my program. And so I took into account that some people might take advantage 1 week out of the month. It's a membership, but you don't have to go every single day. So I took account that I might have one this month, or during the summertime, I did increase during the summer because most people are out of school during the summertime.
So do they pay per event or a monthly subscription?
You pay per event, and you pay beforehand. They go online. You can look at the schedule a month in advance to see all the different adventures that we will go on, and they can pick and choose what weekend they would like to go on through Eventbrite. And then that sends me a link to send them an invoice. They pay the invoice. I send them a boarding pass. The kid shows us the boarding pass to get on the bus.
Is there a reason why 13 plus for the age group?
Usually at 13 is when they start having solitude at home, and they start staying at home. They feel that they don't have friends. They don't have relationships. I don't have to turn on my phone. I don't have to check email. So if I can get them around that time, I can get them to understand that there's more to life than just Fortnite or just staying at home and being with your parents.
So can you share a little bit more about the soft launch? What's profitable? How many members you had?
So the soft launch was fully funded. I didn't ask my because it's still part of marketing, so I didn't ask for any money. But I had 14 people to sign up, and it was 14 people on Monday. Maybe 2 or 3 from Monday were there, but the rest were new. So each day there are approximately 10 new members that was in there. So they didn't have to pay, but all they had to do was provide lunch for their kiddo. So if I actually asked for them to pay for it, I probably would have made approximately $8,000 to $9,000 that week.
Are you a for-profit?
We'll be, currently we are an LLC, but we're going to become a public benefit corporation.
That was my next question. Have you
So-
ever, sorry, go ahead.
So I'm not a nonprofit because when you have nonprofits, you have to follow certain rules with the government. And the business, yes, it's mine, but the business is for the parents. I want whatever that the parents want, I'm going to try to make it happen.
My only question, you may have already gone down this route, is I've had some experience in the past with not necessarily similar organizations, but organizations that help take care of children with special needs. And there's actually state funding that you can tap through the public school systems that can pay for some of these programs. Have you guys explored that at all?
Because we are not a nonprofit, usually they don't want to work with for-profit businesses. And so there are a couple of grants or a couple of foundations that I've worked with, as in, because we're not nonprofit, I'm sending my parents to nonprofits like Angels Network or Susie Bean, and they can get scholarships from them to pay me.
All right, Lauren, thank you, appreciate it.
Do you want to fill that up?
Oh, yes.
Oh, she comes up. Okay.
I always forget that one. Thanks.
All right, next we have Vanessa Johnson, and Vanessa, whenever you're ready, you can kick it off.
Okay, well, I'm here for practice and feedback. I'm not looking for funding, so that's why it's missing some of the information that you asked for. But I'll go ahead and get excited. What would you do if your workplace literally poisoned you and triggered a life-changing chronic illness? Well, 7 years ago, this happened to me, and what I'm choosing to do is start a company called Allergic to Work to help others who've been made sick by their workplaces. My name is Vanessa Johnson, and I have chronic inflammatory response syndrome. Next slide. It's also known as SEERS, and 25% of the U.S. population is genetically susceptible to this illness. That's an estimate from experts, which means that 81 million people, when they're exposed to water-damaged buildings, they can become gravely ill. So what's surprising, given these statistics, is that most employers and even doctors aren't familiar with this illness. So this lack of awareness is the problem that my company, Allergic to Work, aims to solve. So Allergic to Work will be a public benefit corporation that will provide information, training, and consulting services to SEER sufferers, to employers, and doctors to help people like me who have been made ill by their workplaces. So take the first step and become more informed by visiting allergictowork.com, and together we can prevent the Sears epidemic from becoming a national public health crisis.
Hey, this was really interesting to me because I have a family that's full of chronic illnesses, particularly driven, from allergies and mold. The only thing that I just couldn't seem to wrap my head around was the actual strategic plan to get in front of these companies and build enough value that would promote them to actually engage you and pay for your services.
Well, a couple of reasons you can get first of all, I've just had a career in HR, and this is valuable for HR professionals because one of the problems that I personally had, and that other people who have come to me as a result of having the same problem, is that they don't understand the illness, and so they also don't understand the accommodation process. And the company that made me sick could have saved a whole lot of money with my lawsuit, by understanding that process. Also, from a benefits perspective, you can really sell the value because in the situation I was in, only 1 in 4 people have a genetic profile that makes them ill when they're exposed to the building, but a lot of other people experience similar symptoms. They just don't get as ill as the people who are genetically susceptible. And so people who've never had allergies were going to the doctor. It was a self-insured company, so you can have this also the selling point of you understand the illness, you know how to take measures in order to prevent that. So it's going to end up in a cost savings to you as a company from a benefits perspective as
Are
well.
there lawsuits floating around that are tied to this?
Yes, because once people realize that, but they're hard to win. So most of the time you're going to sell out of court for the situation, but it's even difficult because essentially I've been providing advising services to people who have found my article on the Law Center website for the past 2 years, and it's been close to impossible for us to find attorneys to take these cases. But often they do have legitimate legal claims and the failure to accommodate, through the workers' comp process and things of that nature. So there are costs associated with just basically not understanding the illness and knowing how to accommodate. Because a lot of people just think even doctors think you're faking because it's a multi-symptom illness. You can have a lot of different variations. Like my main symptoms are chronic fatigue, and I've had neurological repercussions from it, and it's something that basically never goes away, particularly in Houston with lots of water damaged buildings. And that's kind of what has motivated me to participate in this program and try to execute and formalize the consulting services that I've been giving, because there are probably a lot of people in Houston right now as a result of Harvey who are sick and don't even realize why they're sick or how to treat it. And I know with my process I just felt helpless going to doctors who didn't know what they also with the doctors, they don't even cooperate enough to give you the information you need to get the accommodation at work. So it's an education process for all parties involved, the patient, the employer, the physician, to help people get well or be able to function. It took me 3 years to basically financially recover because I had to leave the job. I couldn't stay at that workplace.
Let me add to what you said. So your potential customers are Sears sufferers, employers, and physicians.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the value add for them to actually pay for these services?
Well, for the physicians, for one, because it's a social impact venture, so part of it is just helping people. But also for the physicians, I plan to format the training in CMEs. So they have to do a certain amount of CMEs every year, and most of the time their employers are taking care of that. So it's not a problem. In fact, in terms of my business plan, after talking to my brother, who's a surgeon, he has a $5,000 budget per year for CME. So, marketing and really just communicating to them that they're probably seeing patients with these symptoms can probably motivate them to at least do a portion of their CME with the company to learn more about the illness.
What do you say for a cynical person who say I could just Google it?
Well, there are more resources out there now, but I think number one, my experience in being able to tell people the particular, especially the legal issues associated, people, especially doctors, that's one of the reasons they won't cooperate in the process. They don't want to get pulled into a lawsuit. So explaining kind of that angle adds some value as well. My brother said I'd take it just to know how to avoid, getting caught up in a lawsuit for, failure to diagnose correctly, and having all these negative repercussions for a person because I didn't know and wasn't able to help.
All right, Vanessa, thank you very much. Next up is Christine Harrigan.
That's okay.
Just take my job, that's fine.
Just for this one. I'm just attempting. Give me a break.
Go for it.
Is Lauren Wiggins? She just went. Oh, those for extra?
All right. Go ahead, Christine. Take it away.
Hello, my name is Christine Harrigan, and I'm the owner of the Green Room Montessori School. I help preschoolers to thrive in a place of learning that's clean and green. The Wongs live in Chinatown. They are upper middle class, churchgoers, and shop at Whole Foods. Their 3-year-old daughter has allergies and sensitivities. These parents are in need of a quality school in a healthy setting. Most learning centers are inundated with harsh chemicals multiple times during the day. According to the EPA, this can have a negative impact upon the health and development of young growing children. The Green Room Montessori School will provide a learning environment that has filtered air and water, alternative cleaning products, and organic food. In addition, we will offer classical cultural enrichment. Children will enjoy doing craft projects inspired by French art as well as international. Children will also enjoy learning the basics of organic gardening. I'm asking for $80,000 of funding. 35% is for capital expenses. 63% is for 3 months of operating cost. Your contribution will allow parents to plant their little seedlings in the green room. The financial projections would be for the upcoming 3 years, as you can see, and we will pay back the loan in 7 years. Come and join us as we take the next generation and journey to a greener world.
Christine, on your projections, how many students do you have to make the revenue projection?
Maximum capacity at the church will be 22 students.
I noticed that you have that church location. How do you ensure that they're using green cleaning supplies and have the quality of air that you observe?
I'll be in charge of it. I work there teaching their children, and they're very much into the green concept, and I'll have full control, which is the only way it's going to work.
So the national average tuition for your kind of business goes from about 300 to about 1100. I think she was about 1250. How do you justify that?
Well, actually, it is a little bit high. We're thinking more about 1,000 per child, and how we justify it is we're going to be a unique learning center. We're going to be completely green. We're going to have a heavy focus on cultural enrichment, which will be French art, international art, classical music, horticulture. We're going to have the best teacher-student ratio in the state. 1 teacher to 5 students.
Just one more question. You said your target market is Asian moms, dads.
Yes.
Why so specific? And my second question is why moms who stay at home or work part-time?
Okay, at the church where I work, it's in Chinatown. And so the church is 98% Asian. And the Asians are very much into the holistic green environment. So, but it's open to all children. Everyone's invited, but that's the location and the church is Asian. And your second question was?
So why moms who don't work or part-time?
Because of the hours. We're going to do from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that's going to be mothers who stay home or moms who work part-time.
So they will be available after 2 p.m.?
Yes.
So you're booking a basement that's higher cost, but only a 2/3 of the day environment.
Yeah, it's going to be a very unique learning environment. I mean, I've done the research in Houston and I can't find another one that's similar to it. And our classical cultural enrichment is going to be outstanding.
So where do you source your teachers?
I'm going to go through the American Montessori Association.
So does that mean you will be accredited or associated with AMI?
Yes.
So you have that credential?
Yeah, our teachers will be Montessori certified. We need 2 lead teachers, 1 in each classroom, and then 2 assistants who will be in training.
And what age group are you taking?
Preschoolers.
So 3, 4?
Yes.
How much are you planning to pay for the teachers per year?
Yes.
How much?
Their salaries, it's written there. I think it is about
$5,000 a month.
Yeah, $5,000 a month.
Because you mentioned that you're going to need about 5.
We're going to need 2 lead teachers, 2 assistants, a very, very good director. I'm going to be the assistant director, unpaid, and substitute teachers as needed.
Why do you need the salaries in advance? Don't you pay them from the tuition?
Just to secure, we'd like to have the salaries in advance. Because I'm not sure if we're going to get 22 students right away. I think we will, but just in case we don't, we want to be prepared.
Working capital.
Mine is more of an observation than a question. You have a strong advantage from being in the space already. You know, you understand the industry, you understand, the various value adds or value levers in the industry to space. What I would recommend is as you continue to grow the opportunity, begin to explore how you can replicate that particular business model in other districts, other areas within Houston. Yes. That way you can look at a potential, because you say that I assume that there's nobody trying to do this. It's a unique niche market, so you might just try to look at, replicating that business model in other places, areas in Houston.
Yes, thank you. I thought of that.
Thank you. All right, we have a Melody Walker.
Oh, she's outside. I wouldn't let her come in.
Let me give you 2. Do you have any music for 20 minutes on program? What time do you have me doing? Oh, let me go check. I don't remember. Okay.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melody Walker. I am the owner of Poetry, Art, and Childhood Services. What we do is teach poetry to preschool age children in ways
that strengthen all areas of their early development. As a preschool teacher, I was able to watch children display challenging and disruptive behavior, and most of the time we found that what it really was that they were not able to express their feelings and their emotions in a healthy way. Exposing poetry to preschool age children, it allows them the opportunity to learn vocabulary that allows them to express their feelings and their emotions in healthy ways. Also, it allows them to have examples of how to express their emotions in healthy ways. And we were able to see this when I was able to teach poetry to preschool age children because it gave them an alternative for becoming frustrated and expressing challenging behavior. Something that it helps children do is grow in their social skills, in their communication skills, and also in future endeavors that they will have in the community, which will allow them to come back, some of them come back and thank investors who have the opportunity to invest in programs like Poetry, Art, and Childhood Services. Right now, currently, we are set to offer our services to 20 Houston area preschools. Edward L. Blackshear Elementary has already signed on for this upcoming fall semester, and we're excited to work with them, and hopefully we can partner with you guys. We would be looking for a loan of $7,600 only for the first semester, and that would be paid back in the first semester because we are working with students from the University of Houston. Thank you very much.
So have you started the business yet?
Yes. So currently it is a sole proprietorship. I work with individual families, and we're looking to expand, which is why we will be working with students from the university. And also that's how we will be able to get into schools and have more staff working with schools as opposed to just a sole proprietorship working with individual families.
So you said 43 and 42% show improvement with this methodology?
Yes.
If that's the case, why aren't most of the schools using it?
I don't know if it is something that is as popular. I think the arts is something that is implemented in various early childhood enrichment programs, but I don't think poetry is something that is specified, which is why I think many parents have responded so well to it and they enjoyed it so much while I was able to teach it in the preschool.
So why do you think there's no summertime market for this? I see you're basically, that you're seeing no revenue for the summer.
Yes, just my experience as a preschool teacher, a lot of the students, due to vacations or just based on what I've seen in other early enrichment programs, the numbers usually drop significantly. And so based on that, that's why I got my predictions on that.
So this is more of like an add-on to preschools into,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Like the tumble tots.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Melanie, do you currently have some sort of a contract with the schools, an MOU, some sort of understanding agreement?
With Blackshear Elementary, we will have one for the upcoming fall semester, and the other schools we are currently meeting with and talking with so far. So
the schools are paying you, or the students, or the parents are paying you?
the parents will be paying, it'll be a monthly.
So the school agrees to market your services, and then parents can opt in?
Allow access.
Yes.
How easy is it for schools to work with you, or how do you, why do they choose you over some other service? What's the process like, if you could walk me through?
I think it's because of my background in early childhood development, also with my experience in poetry, and the fact that, again, it's really not something that we see a lot of, poetry. It's something that is new, It's something that, as far as early development, we see things like jump bunch, which is something that strengthens physical development. We see different things like there's a Lego enrichment program.
Okay. So you go to the principals, and that's how they know this service exists?
Yes, yes.
And the
So far, I do, because I am, I do stay connected as far as the early childhood environment. A lot of the teachers, a lot of the parents, that's how we kind of network and know each other. So yes, I do go to the principal's office.
So last question, are you a vendor of HISD, Fort Bend ISD?
No, no.
Have you tried that process? I think you should. Because if you're a registered or approved vendor, then that list is made available to all principals, and you don't have to network 4 times a month to try to get business. I think they would call you if you were a vendor. So maybe spending some of your energy in the summer that you're not going to be working to learn about the process with the SCORE guys, the MBDAs. MBDA is a Minority Business Owned Development Agency, the SBDC, and learning about how do you become a vendor to these large state governed institutions. That may be a great way, so you don't have to go that 4 times networking events that you wrote.
Yes.
Yeah, in your income statement, you're talking about you have no selling and administrative expense. You got to get the word out some kind of way. So I think that's something you're going to need to look at. Is really, I like the concept. I think any type of language skills is an awesome concept, but you're going to have to get the word out. So you're going to need some kind of a marketing plan, even if it's just flyers in schools or something. But it's got to be.
The plan was to go through the principals, and so far I haven't had any because it's a sole proprietorship.
Right,
so
the principals aren't buying your service, the parents are.
Yes.
They're the ones you got to reach, not the principals.
Yes.
And one more thing, just it's great pitch, great concept, but stay away from you say something about loan for $7,600. Stay away from a loan. If you probably go with equity investments, if you want to get capital funding, because loan you got to pay back, and if you don't meet your metrics, your benchmarks, that's a downer if you get a loan. Okay.
Got it all figured out? She's coming for you. Start giving y'all a little crap. The next person.
Sorry, I'm not ready for that. A lot of thoughts. Put in.
Is it Tammy or?
Tammy, doing her live.
We'll just give a minute for the transition. And
Please.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Hello, I'm Tammy Mason.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, I'm Tammy Mason, and I've had the trying task of raising children while working swing shifts. Years later, I see the families are still having the same problem. That's why I'm opening Fishbowl. Fishbowl will be a 24-hour child care center located in Pearland off of 288 South Feeder Road. At Fishbowl, we plan to have modern surroundings with old-fashioned values. We will locate ourselves in the area where we can service the downtown, surrounding medical centers, chemical plants, prison farms, and the booming population of Pearland. We will, with vigorous marketing, customer service, excellent customer service, and transparency, Fishbowl can become one of the most sought out child care centers in the area. With a loan of $350,000, we will be able to do this. Thank you for your time.
Do you have people earmarked to come work for you already?
Yes.
Okay. And have you tapped into the SBDC in Pearland yet?
No, I haven't.
You need to do that.
Okay.
With daycares like this, you either make it big or you break the bank and you fail. So I think that along with the research you've already done, you need to visit the Pearland SBDC.
Okay.
And that location is going to be everything in order for this to succeed.
Thank you.
To add to Wendy's point, have you ever looked at a franchise that does something similar or
Well,
considered?
There's not many,
Uh-huh.
so it's hard to kind of, I was trying to find a place in the area. I was looking at my market, and Pearland, there isn't any.
No, like a national franchise would be interested in coming to Pearland, and then you would be the franchise or OZ. Because the amount of money you're asking for, that's easily, I mean, it's risky to go at it yourself. You may just have a recipe, that's well created in California or somewhere. I just wonder, maybe what you're offering for and the amount of money you're asking for, it's safer bets for investors if it's a proven model somewhere else.
So what's the money going to be used for?
Well, renovations, because I want to open a storefront, and it's going to be expensive. And we're going to have to renovate it, playground, the bathrooms, the play area, the rooms. Everything's going to have to be renovated.
Are you already looking for property in Pearland?
I've looked at the storefronts over in Pearland Town Center. I wanted to have it there on 288. I know.
So you're saying 24 hours, right?
24 hours.
So your revenue numbers, like the number of kids, you're saying it's 50 kids, right?
Well, yes,
Total.
yes, sir.
But if you're open 24 hours, if you have kind of like a day shift, night shift, and then you can have like almost 2 sets of kids, right? You're gonna have kids have to be there every day, and the kids have to be there at night.
I'm expecting 3 shifts of kids.
There's 3 shifts of kids, but you only got 50 total. So if you had 3 shifts, and that didn't all that good, but you're talking about 16 kids per shift. That seems awful low to get into the business for 16 kids.
Well, I'm hoping now. I just projected that. Hopefully, I'll have more. However, that's what the projection that I just put out there. It could be less, but I'm really looking more at the nighttime shift, really targeting those people, because I know there's a lot of people that work night shifts and they don't have care. But it could be 50, it could be 60, it could be 70,
Right.
hopefully.
I just think because you gotta have the labor there, right? So if
Yes.
you don't have the numbers, and you're not maxing out your ratios per se. You know, that's a kind of a lost opportunity cost.
Well, the thing is, we will hire people by the amount of kids that we get. So if we just get, let's say to begin with, let's say 10 kids, depending on their ages, we'll need three teachers. Other than that, I'll hire as need.
The other thing, your salary number just seems kind of low. I mean, it's $9,600 for employees, and you're spending $8,000 for food. I would have thought there would have been a bigger differential between that.
Yeah, well, then again, that's still is the amount of employees I will need. But we know for sure if you have that amount of children, that's how much it will cost to feed them. But I don't know how many employees we will have to have until we get the children. That was six children. No, 6 employees versus 50 children. But I mean, it just depends on the age of the children and how many we get.
Can you? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, to solve that problem, that's a great point. Maybe you just have your forecast projections where you have a minimum, most likely, and then the optimistic view that touches your capacity at the building. If your capacity is 10 teachers, 500 kids, whatever, I'm throwing out numbers, then put that as the most optimistic. That way, when you go to a banker's or any of the district group that you're pitching this to, then you have at least 3 numbers because it's a forecast. That may help in settling.
Thank you.
Do you know how people is solving their problem right now?
Parents, but then you have people like me, like myself, who come from somewhere else and don't have family members. So friends, maybe people that they wouldn't normally leave their children with.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
next up we have Felicia. And I'll give you a little bit more time this time, so I'll do a quick turnaround.
Thank you. Sorry to hold everybody up.
Well, I'm not having your right, so I forget how long it takes sometimes.
Do you need anything? Water?
I've already cut it.
Yes, ma'am. Judy, Dennis, Judy will grab everything. I've already cut the tree.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone's good? No water or nothing? Y'all good?
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's an extra water. It's not open.
Everyone told me they.
Alright, I'm gonna keep it as backup. You never know when you need an extra bottle of water, you know?
Okay, well, if y'all need it again, just holler at me and I'll make sure you get it, okay?
Thank you.
Also, there is somewhere in your judges folder, there's like a ballot that I've never seen before. Did y'all have that?
I don't have that, but I need it for both sessions.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I told you anything you need.
You asked me.
Yes. Yes, I did. Cool. I'm on it.
Good job, Ashley. No,
Hey, good to see you again. I'm good. I'm good.
So, as a reminder, just for anybody who was here when I made an announcement earlier, we're going to do 2 minutes for pitching. We'll be kind of strict on that so we can make sure we leave enough time for feedback and discussion, which is often the most valuable part. So whenever you're ready, we'll start in 2 minutes, and I'll give you a nice applause off once we're done.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Felicia Legier, and I'm the owner of Dry Baby Cloth Diaper Service, where we create a greener earth from infancy. I provide a cloth diaper option to families who are looking for alternatives to disposable diapers for various reasons. My target customers are parents who are seeking a healthier way to diaper their babies. They want a chemical-free option, and that's where I come in. They also see the economical benefit as parents who diaper their children with cloth the babies tend to potty train up to a year faster, so that's a lighter savings on the pocketbook. Not to mention it's earth-friendly, since diapers, disposables, end up in landfills, and it takes about 250 to 300 years to disintegrate. Well, here's where sustainable, rewashable, recyclable diapers come in. And we have the cloth and we have the disposable. So I am seeking $40,000 for a commercial washer and dryer and a facility, as well as part-time washers and delivery to assist me in this endeavor. Please help me to put diapers in the washer and not in the landfill. I'm open for questions.
So how it compared to the diapers, how it's strictly in pricing, how does it compare?
Of course, well, it is cheaper to cloth diaper. A parent who cloth diapers on their own without a service may spend up to maybe about $300 to $500 total. If they use a service, they may end up spending about $1,500 on the service. We don't really compare the cost with disposable diapers because or a big box diaper option because I'm providing a wash service and I'm providing a delivery service, and ultimately I'm providing a health service. So I always say there's no comparison when it comes to a baby's health.
So let me just give you a feedback from what I read. I read your paper.
Okay.
So I'll just say what you say. So from the investor, when they hear the things, it doesn't sound good.
Okay.
And I'm going to say to you, this time I don't have a marketing plan. I have not made significant advertising efforts. I don't have current capacity to handle more customers. And at the same time, you said you want to grow the business, or you also want to sell the business.
Right.
So kind of confusing to.
And my apologies for that. And that's why this was very preliminary. This has been. This is old and outdated.
Okay.
This is the new one, and that's why it's posted here. We just found out when we came in the room that you guys had something you shouldn't have. So I apologize for that. So to speak to marketing, well, yes, I am doing everything, and that's why I'm seeking the investment of $40,000 so that I can scale it. Currently, I've been asked by 2 Montessori schools. They want me to service their at least 50 children and provide bed linen. I don't have that capacity. I get calls from all over Houston, and I get calls in College Station. I get calls kind of like surrounding areas that I just cannot service. So with me doing the manual work, I limit my services until maybe another baby rolls off the system. And
how many customers do you have now?
currently I have 14.
And how did they hear about it?
And that's where I've ramped up some marketing, but either word of mouth or they just look for cloth diapers and are like, wow, I didn't know it existed. I found someone.
You have a website?
I do have a website. If you want to pull that up, www.drybabyclothdiaperservice, DIAPER, service.com. I've been contacted by Schlumberger, which I'm going to be meeting with them actually on the 24th. I think, is it Top Buzz? Someone just did an article and it's going to be coming out. Currently I service the Heights, Bel Air, River Oaks, Memorial, Sugar Land, and I'm out of Pearland.
So that was where I was going. It seems like this is a convenience service, because if I can spend $350 a lifetime and do it myself versus $1,500, why would I do $1,500?
You pegged it right.
It's convenience.
It's convenience.
So your market would be those people that can afford to pay for convenience, which it sounds like you're in.
Absolutely, it is for those with disposable income. And it is for those, like I have doctors and I have nurses who know that the benefit of having that. I'm bringing on 3 actually next month, so that's going to be 17. And it's like I'm frantically getting this done, but it's without the commercial wash, it's kind of tedious for me.
Are you doing it out of your home now?
Pardon?
Are you doing it out of your home?
I have partnered with a laundromat, and I do some at home because it's my wash. It's my proprietary wash that I use.
So you said you don't have the capacity, yet you're growing. So how are you trying to solve that problem?
Through some kind investors. So I'm looking for the funds so that I can get a 45-pound Unimac washer and dryers, which would help me take on more divers, take on more clients.
Okay. So you got 17 now as of next month. So with that new washer, how much will that allow you to increase?
That would free up time for me because as I put in more loads, so my process is like a 90-minute process, and so I could do like I could do about at least 8 of those loads. So that would just like cut it down in half for me.
And where would you put the washer and dryer?
That's the facility. That's why I'm seeking
Lease
that
the
amount. Right, it would be at a warehouse facility.
Is that, do you think the 40,000 is gonna be enough?
Probably not. I'd have to go into my pockets because I am going to need some more help and with the facility and so forth.
Okay.
But I started there.
Okay, so I know I saw that you said 1099 employees, but if they're gonna actually be at that warehouse doing work, they're gonna actually be employees. Just make sure you're getting enough.
Okay.
For your payroll taxes and stuff like that.
Okay.
To float yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, look to increase the amount you were asked rather than 40 out of your pocket. Your pocket should be your safety net.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Hello, judges. So, I suppose some of you had a query about the ballot that was supposed to be. So, there's a ballot in each of these packets, and that is for all the contestants that you talked to. So,
all of us?
if you don't have, I was supposed to explain it to you in there, whatever is in there. But you can have the ballot is the sheet that is here.
Okay.
So the final pitch sheet, this is the ballot sheet. So, yeah, you can look
Okay.
at.
All right.
You do not have one either? Yeah.
Excuse me, judges. So this room, remarkably,
Because that was
as a
covered
first
one. I did the
ever
first
for
one.
sure pitch
I
day,
don't
this
think so.
room will
That's
finish
together.
on time.
Yeah, that's all.
Which is just impressive. Like really, those of y'all who are new,
She's keeping us on.
yeah, okay. The Capdervilles, Judy, Elise, like, please, like, we need plaques. This is, I've done like 9 of these pitch days. We've never ever finished on time.
It's called teamwork.
I'm trying to sabotage it actually, right now. But seriously though, the other room, we're probably going to be behind about 20 to 30 minutes. So if you finish in this room and you don't have a hard stop at 1 o'clock and you're available to judge 2 or 3 more pitches and step in for the judges who have to leave at the 1 o'clock mark in the next room, I'll send you home with 6 extra shawarma chicken wings. Okay? All the chicken shawarma you can eat. All right. So please, before I waste any more of the time and throw off this well-oiled machine, that was just the last thing. That was a quick announcement I wanted to make.
Did you find out? I'm done.
After this pitch, just go in there. After this pitch, just go into the auditorium.
Okay, Seymour Hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
After this pitch.
All right, got it.
The last or second last.
I'm gonna kill the stream then.
So, yeah, how you register, our show program and what.
Wait, there's one more. This is the last one. Okay. Here. Thank you, man.
Okay. And then we'll have a.
More than a
Okay, and so you'll just sit down.
Yeah, you want to give me the points, or you know, how you want to do it?
Okay.
I'll be putting on through.
We didn't have this last time, huh?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, this
you audition, huh?
Our different is by 2030. This one here is ballot form and this is also your interest form. So if you're interested in doing these work according to our shelter, a banking advisor, if you wish to do associate as well. So this gives you a chance to be associated with us. This is yours. Thank you.
Hang on, wait. I want to make sure that the judges are able to give it full attention.
Look, we're 20 minutes ahead right now, so just give me a second. Come on.
Or yeah. I don't want to shortchange anybody.
I'm not here to rush you at all. I'm really so nice.
Quality takes a little more time.
Uh-huh. You bet.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to like this.
You need to go, guys.
I'm ready for the next one.
Okay, all right, I will hand it off. Ashley, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Ashley Moore. I'm the owner of HCG Eats.
And we are a meal preparation company geared towards optimizing your health through nutrition. We offer 2 products. We offer meal prep for something called the HCG diet, which is traditional, has been around since the 50s. And we also offer our line HCG Eats. Health Eats, which is for, which focuses on chronic conditions such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and obesity. Also critical conditions such as cancer, kidney disease, and heart disease. We also offer a line of on-the-go meals for professionals that are busy and that travel a lot, so that you do not have to miss out on your diet routine as you're traveling back and forth. And those are vacuum sealed meals, and they actually last about 2 times longer than the standard meal prep containers. So right now, we get a lot of customers because our prices are significantly lower than competition in Houston, and that's only because we don't have a lot of overhead. But we're getting inundated, and people, of course, love delivery. So one of the concepts that we're trying to come up with, perhaps, is actually a food truck for our local individuals, because we do service Magnolia all the way to Sugarland. And so the food truck would allow us to do local pop-ups, local meetups, and also would allow for delivery. And we will also be able to perhaps prep on the truck as well. So it would allow us to serve our local clients in surrounding areas. We also are adding a new line which incorporates CBD oil, because research does show that obesity and anxiety are directly linked. So clients are able to now choose if they want CBD oil added to their meals to lose weight, or if they want it added to their meals as they go through regular treatment for kidney disease or their liver disease or cancer as well. So that's an option that we're offering. The great thing about the CBD oil is that it can get shipped from across state lines, as long as it's a certain amount of hemp included in it. So it has to be 3.3% or lower. We're also adding a line of mushrooms for our patients that are that have critical conditions such as cancer. This is proven to help people going through chemotherapy, chronic kidney disease, sexual desire, and kidney transplant as well. So this is also an option that we've added as well.
Thank you, Ashley.
So on the news just the other day, I think it was Fox 26, they had a segment on the possibility of the FDA getting involved with regulating the production of CBD oil and standardizing that process. What do you know about that, and how do you think that's going to affect you?
Well, right now I'm partnering with a local company, and that could be years down the road, possibly, as far as the FDA trying to regulate. But there wouldn't necessarily be an issue with that. I know that there is a difference between companies that offer CBD oil that is purely holistic, and some companies have it watered down with certain products that they should not include. So you just have to really do your research and make sure that the company you're using is really using pure CBD oil, and that the level of hemp that's included in it is legal.
So are you marketing straight to the consumer right now?
No, so right now I'm actually partnered with doctor facilities, and so we're actually trying to start shipping as well. I have clinics in other states that are interested in me shipping, and we've also targeted the bariatric community. So we also have another line where doctors are able to come to us and say, hey, this is the menu that we want our clients to follow. They create us the menu, and we actually cater it to what they want. So then it would become Dr. Smith's protocol for Dr. Smith's patients.
I've seen a rise in a lot of chiropractors turning themselves into like weight loss clinics and more of a natural treatment using medicine for food, things of that nature.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think there's a market there for sure for you.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yeah, we've been swamped, which is always a good thing, to be swamped, and we've been getting a lot of notoriety, which is good as well.
Where's your practitioners? What part of town?
So we're in Houston right now, and we prep out of, I think it's Kitchen 205.
Where is it?
Off of Cross Timbers. Sorry, I've only been here for like 8 years. Yeah, I know, right?
New York.
Yeah.
Like Houston is. So are you currently revenue generating?
Yes.
How much did you make last year?
Last month. You said last year?
Last year.
Oh no, we just launched January 1st this year.
Okay.
Yep.
So, what is your ask, and how would you use it?
So right now we're asking for $20,000. Can we pull that slide up? So right now we're asking for $20,450, and that's for the food truck. Where we will actually prepare the food and do actual pop-ups. Supplies for 1 month, which is about 2,000. Gas for the food truck for 2 months, about 700. Insurance for the food truck for 3 months, about 600. Internet website access, $150. Employee salaries for 2 months in advance, about 2,000. Food credit for 2 months, 1,000, and a vacuum seal machine that would allow for skin packaging, and that's about $5,000.
The food truck, is that in the invoice amount? Because that's awfully low.
Well, that's with me having to buy it
You
used.
have 30,000 here for the truck.
Yeah, that's the old one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We tried to scale back a bit and see what we could buy used.
Because I agree, it should be like 35,000.
Okay, for a really good one.
Yeah. No, for a regular one.
For a regular one?
No, for a regular one.
Okay.
So you prep the food?
Yes, we prep the food, and we've actually partnered with Chef Nettie, who does saltless seasonings, and she'll be up next. Our food is basically low sodium, if any sodium, very low oil. Any oil that we use is just coconut oil.
Did I read the? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to ask: are you being required to now, or do you know at what point you'll be required to disclose calorie content and macronutrients within your food products?
Yes, we're working on that now to actually create labels for every single dish that we offer.
What's the cost to do that?
The labels?
The research and to break down the research that goes into getting the macronutrient information broken down so that you can appropriately label it.
The only thing that's expensive is the macronutrient part. Everything else, as far as the calorie intake, that's easy. That's readily available. But that part is the hard part, to actually get those numbers. That just entails a lot of research.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did I read somewhere it could only be provided by an authorized medical professional?
Yes, the HCG diet, because that's in conjunction, that's HCG injections, and then we prepare the meals for that. But then we have our other side, which are for individuals that have the chronic conditions and the critical illnesses.
So how are you involved with the SCG injection?
Well, the clinics actually send their clients to me, or people reach out to me individually, and I create them a custom promo code. It's free of cost. So each clinic that says, hey, I'm sending you 5 customers because I want them to utilize the meal prep for HCG, I create them a promo code which gives them 15% off for each client.
The final question. Are this like, I know there are a lot of claims. Are they like supplemental, like vitamins, or they are FDA approved research, tested companies? I see a lot of claim for whatever they do on the stuff. So.
For which one, HCG?
Yeah.
There's research that's out there about it. I actually did the HCG diet, and that's why I wore these jeans today, because I did it for 30 days and I lost quite a bit of weight. So it just depends on what the individual looks into themselves, but it's been around since 1950. So there's research into it. You'll get research that says it's not good. You'll get research that says it is good. And so then it's up to the individual in that clinic if they want to put that individual on that. You're seeing a lot more clinics go back to HCG diet instead of keto. Because the keto.
Well, before we end on a break protocol, real quick, and ask my own question, because I think I fit right into one of your customer profiles. What's pricing like if you wanted to do 2 or 3 meals a week or whatever on a meal prep basis?
So right now we have a lot of customers doing the 30-day. So we're averaging $8 a meal. So if you do the 30-day, it's about $448 for a 30-day plan. But that also includes your delivery, and that includes 14 meals a week.
And if you're hard for me, because
okay. Yep, I'll get that.
So give you a little symbol when we get here at the end, just so you know.
Okay.
And then if you want me, I'll be driving.
I'll set one speaker halfway through, and then a second speaker, and then it's you.
So I should go?
Yeah, you should probably go.
Okay.
3 left.